Champaign, Illinois, this is the Jumping the Rail podcast with your hosts Mark Redmond and Mike Nargelinas.
Welcome to episode 10 of the Jumping the Rail podcast. I am Mark Redmond, and I am joined by the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. Start with my buddy Mike Nargelinas. Looking good, Narg.
Feeling good, Mark.
And we got Marko turning all the dials for us today, as usual. And we have a guest in the studio with us. Narg, you want to introduce her?
Yes, this is our good friend, fellow wrestling enthusiast, Andrea Lynch.
How could you almost forget my name?
Why? I was gonna try to come
say
up with something
Becky
more
Lynch,
creative.
weren't you?
I was
Pre-show shots. Pre-show shots.
Yeah.
That might do it.
Teremana, The Rock. Shout out. No, Andrea is a huge wrestling fan.
She's not that big.
Yeah. What Andrea notices, maybe the rest of us don't notice as much, as she has a female perspective, which is good. She probably thinks somebody's hotter than
stop.
I do.
Hang on.
Time out.
Time out.
Well, I said start, and that didn't start, so we're going to do this over.
Oh, shit.
My apologies, but it's okay, because that's
not
how this
live.
works.
Great rehearsal, guys.
That's
Great
it.
job.
I'm sticking with the jolliest bunch of assholes.
At least he'll know my name
Right,
this
here we
second time around.
From Champaign, Illinois, this is the Jumping the Rail podcast with your hosts Mark Redmond and Mike Nargelinas.
All right, and welcome to episode 10 of the Jumping the Rail podcast. I am Mark Redmond, and I am joined by the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. I got Mike Nargelinas. Narg, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm still feeling good.
That's good.
We did a practice run, and Mark screwed it up. Marko
I did.
screwed it up.
Yeah.
Totally fucked it up.
So we had like a fun little thing, and you all missed it. So
Uh-huh.
that's for the bloopers.
The actual software was actually doing it, so maybe when this goes and publishes, they can hear the fuck up and everything. It's like letting the blooper reel stay in the product.
So we're gonna blame the Teremana tequila.
That's right.
All right,
It's the people's tequila.
the people's tequila.
Narg, why don't you introduce our guest for us?
Our guest to my right, weighing in it. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. This is our very good friend, the female perspective. This is our good friend, again, Andrea Lynch, wrestling fan. Andrea, real quick, favorite wrestler, right off the top of your head.
John Cena, hands down.
Have you ever seen him?
I've seen him multiple times.
You can't see him. Only I can see him. We've verified that on a previous episode that only I can see him.
That's
Yeah, but seeing as I'm a girl, I can see him.
Oh, look out.
It's
All right.
kryptonite.
So Andrea likes John Cena. Nothing wrong with that. He was in Chicago this last week.
You can see him?
I can.
Oh.
kind of tuning out there, Marko?
Yes.
Blah.
So, as you can kind of imagine, we're doing things a little loose today. We're kind of
Festivus.
doing like a holiday kind of a theme since this is our last episode before Christmas comes around. But before we do, there are a few things that we ought to discuss, Narg, that happened over the weekend that seem like they might be pertinent to discuss for a bit. And I guess the main thing is the Jeff Hardy situation that's going on.
Yeah, that I have an opinion on that. I'll take the floor. I think a lot of people are under the assumption. So Jeff Hardy was released by the WWE. I think it's under the assumption that Jeff may have been intoxicated last week and decided to bail on his match. I honestly, based on the video I saw earlier today, Jeff was on Matt Hardy's YouTube channel. I really think this was all planned. About 2-3 weeks ago, Matt had done an interview where he said the Hardy Boys would team together again. That was his ultimate goal, was to put the Hardy Boys back together. I really think they concocted this. Matt even said today that he's always been the brains behind the operation. And I think it's kind of a wink to everybody that Matt and Jeff, they know the system. They've been in WWE long enough. Hey, what could we do to, hey, Jeff, you have demons. Why don't you just jump? I think we're getting worked. I think WWE got worked. I really think WWE got worked by the Hardy Boys, in my opinion.
I mean, isn't that how the Hardy Boys run, though?
They kind of do things their own way. I mean,
Yeah.
They always have. Matt tweeted yesterday that he felt extremely good about the future. It would not shock me to see Jeff Hardy show up in AEW in 90 days.
And then they'll be jobbing as a tag team on Dynamite.
Well, yeah, and you and I discussed this offhand the other night at the Christmas party. Tony Khan is moving on the chessboard in the right position. Game, set, match here. We could get Hardys. We could get FTR. We could get the Briscoes. Who else? I mean, they've got everybody. They have all the great
Bucks.
tag teams. The Bucks. That's who. That's who I'm missing. The Bucks.
Nobody misses the Bucks.
4 corners. You put those guys. I mean, that's a dream tag team match. Maybe the 4 greatest in the last decade, 2 decades.
They're up there. There's other good teams out there that, especially now with Ring of Honor going on hiatus, that are available. And like you got OGK, who's the former tag champs in ROH, revealing for something. That's Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. And they're a damn good tag team. I saw them on 2 different pay-per-views over the last couple weeks. And they had probably, to me, the match of the night on Final Battle Saturday night with the Briscoes.
Yeah.
But
How about what happened after that match, though?
yeah, then the top guys showed up.
FTR, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I think in collective wrestling fans' minds, your big 4 have got to be the Bucks, FTR, Briscoes. And the Hardys are. When you look at WWE and you think tag teams, what do you think of? You think of the New Day, which is kind of disjointed. I mean, who else do you have over there that's an actual tag team?
Well, you got the Usos. They're the best tag team they got.
They are, but they've kind of turned into Roman Reigns' fodder at this point. I feel like
Yeah, they're better. They're
an
better on their
afterthought.
own than
The
with Roman.
Usos, to me, are kind of pawns and chess pieces right now for Roman Reigns, not really tag team champions.
That's exactly. I agree.
Yeah, that seems how they're booked. But when they're on their own and doing their thing, they're probably. I'd put them top 5 in the world.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
they
I
would
agree.
easily be the best tag team in WWE.
Yeah.
If they would get out of the storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you got your teams like the Street Profits and RK Bro on Raw. And then you don't have a whole lot of big tag teams on SmackDown these days.
No,
RK Bro is a laughable tag team to me.
They're growing on me.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy the entertainment
Fungus
piece,
grows.
but we all know how this
Can't
ends.
spell fungus without fun.
Yes.
Or us.
Touche. Touche.
Fungus Among Us. That's a shout out to Incubus.
There you go.
You know how RK Bro ends though, and I think you and I have agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Riddle is going to be the heel.
Riddle's
He's
gonna be
the
the
one turn. He's going to have enough of Randy Orton's shit.
There was something a couple weeks ago I remember saying I think Orton was saying something to Riddle about being 10 moves ahead of everybody else. And I think in the long run, Riddle's going to be 10 moves ahead of Orton.
I think so. I think Orton's it's going to be and it happens before Mania. That's the match at Mania.
Yeah.
It's RK Bro explodes or implodes.
Right. They got to find the right tag team for them to drop the belts to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this tournament is going to decide that. So you've got Profits against the Mysterios, right?
Right.
Which I think Profits beat Mysterios. I think it's where the Mysterios break up.
Yeah, I think that's coming.
And so I think it's Profits are going to take the belts, and that's what's going to cause the rift.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Because I've never really got the Mysterios tag team. I know they're father and son, but Dominic's not ready for that level tag team wrestling. He's got to learn.
So
he's doing good.
So Dominic is Rey Mysterio's son?
Yeah.
Yes, he
and
is.
he's
Real, or is this all
for
put
real.
together?
For real.
He's real son. But
Okay.
Dominic he's not bad in the ring, but he's got a lot to learn still.
He could improve quite a bit compared to some of the other second-gen guys that are out there. Braun Breaker, for instance. That's a guy they can move up, I think, right now.
Yep.
But
There's two guys in NXT that I think can move up tomorrow and be in good shape. One's Braun Breaker, one's Solo Sikoa. That's the Usos' brother.
no, I mean, when we're not discussing some of the bigger names, obviously Roddy and
Ciampa,
LA Knight and Ciampa,
But as far as like the new blood that came in the last 3 months,
the Usos' little brother, what's his name?
Solo Sikoa.
Why do they pretend like he's not an Uso? He literally
I think they've kind of acknowledged it. He's done the bloodline thing.
Okay. See, ignorance here. I don't watch a lot of WWE product. I try, I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I try to watch NXT. There are certain things I like. Braun Breaker, I think he's awesome. His name sucks. It's terrible. I've said that since day one.
Yeah.
He defended it last week that it was his idea, which, if he ever gets released, it would be, well, that wasn't my idea. That's how they all do this. That they play the Vince McMahon game. But
if Triple H was still running the show, I would be more inclined to believe him.
yeah. So
Back to the Rey Mysterio Dominique thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Dominique would do so much better on his own if he wasn't always worrying about his dad in the corner. Because to me, the family thing is clouding him from performing so well. Because he does excellent work. He can hold his own in the ring, and he's proved it not time after time. I just wish they would separate them to maybe put them two against each other, see where that goes.
Well, we've talked about that. We think that's where it's going. Dominic's going to turn on Ray and say he was holding him back, whatever. I think that they made a mistake not starting Dominic in NXT, just for starters. Really let him go to the PC for a while, because he trained under his dad. He didn't train in the developmental system. So if he would go down to the PC, work with your Carinos and your Matt Blooms, all those guys, and really develop that flow and work with some guys, I hate to say, it makes me like an old man, work with guys his age,
That's what did it?
He's 22, so he's way younger.
Oh, he's
than
a
me.
baby.
Yeah, he's a pup. He's Hook's age.
Oh,
send Hook. Hook is my favorite right now. I'm on the Hook bandwagon.
So we brought him up. Narj, critique Hook's performance on Rampage.
Fantastic. And I think everybody agreed. I think he exceeded expectations. He walked out there, and I watched it with Kyler. He walked out there like he just didn't give a shit. Like, they played my music. I got to go out here and do my job. And he walked out, and credit to Fuego del Sol. That's his name, right?
Fuego,
yeah. Fantastic job. A lot of great suplexes, things like that. Taz on commentary, perfect. I feel like they should have saved it for Dynamite. I get it. Because they've been building it up. Obviously, Hook is this. Anybody who follows wrestling knows he's kind of been this internet sensation. Everybody's like, oh, Hook. What he did was awesome. The Katahajime, the Taz mission, they're going to call it the Red Rum.
Yeah.
I felt like he could have synced that in a little different. I didn't care for the grappling into that.
Yeah, we discussed that a little bit. It seems more like he was doing it more shoot style than pro wrestling style, with the setup and like getting behind the guy to put it on.
Was the Red Rum in some way a reflection on that movie you like?
It's
a lot?
probably
The
a
Shining,
Shining reference.
I'm sure it is of some kind. I'm not,
Well, it's murder backwards.
Yes.
Murder, yes.
That's when you're pulling the knife out.
Right.
Red Rum.
Reminds me of that guy Relic in TNA back in the day. It's spelled Rellik, and Don West, every time he would say his name, would say, "That's killer backwards." Like, it was a real witty thing. It was ridiculous. It was Johnny Stamboli in a mask.
Yeah.
It was just.
I remember that.
And he teamed up with Dustin when he was doing the Black Rain thing, and they were the two spooky guys to feud with Abyss, and it just went over like a fart in church. But that's neither here nor there.
Not recalling what the topic was, but Dwayne posted up Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode about something you were talking
Lord.
about.
They're a very good tag team. I love Rudolph as a tag team.
they're a couple of pretty boys, but a good tag team.
You think Robert Roode is pretty? He looks like a catcher's mitt.
I have my thoughts.
Have you
this
seen
is
her
the girl
taste in men?
opinion.
Dwayne, I have my thoughts on that. And so Rudolph, as Marcus
The red-nosed reindeer.
has called them.
We have to
in
bring it back to
private.
Christmas.
It fits the Christmas theme.
Yes,
it.
it does.
Yeah, so Mark Redmond has called them Rudolph, which is terrible, and I told him to knock that off.
Stop that.
Robert Roode.
Don't have a sound effect.
I don't know why they changed his name. Bobby Roode. I loved him as a singles guy. I feel like Ziggler, again, he's a company man. He's a yes man. And he's just kind of going through with this. It's working out. He's getting him some time. I'd rather him be singles wrestlers. The dirty dog, none of it makes any sense. But
So I think I can shed a little light there. Bobby Roode has, even going back to TNA, he would switch to Robert Roode when he was a heel.
well, I don't remember that.
That was like about 06, I think. When he first left Team Canada, he was Robert Roode. He was the millionaire Wall Street guy.
Okay, I remember that.
And
I don't remember Robert, though.
Yeah. Then he went back to Bobby about 2011 or so when he was doing the Fortune thing with AJ and James Storm and all them. And
I remember that. Yep.
But he had a tag team with Austin Aries for a while in TNA called the Dirty Heels when they were. So that might be a callback to that.
Okay. I can see that. Austin Aries, there's a name.
He was on the NWA pay-per-view
Was
last
he?
weekend. Yeah, he wrestled Rhett Titus in a junior heavyweight tournament match.
How do you look?
Damn good.
Good.
Hasn't lost a step.
I wondered. He's kind of got some weird.
He's an oddball.
He's out there. So
Man, he looked good. That whole pay-per-view was good, though.
Aries is always an entertaining guy to be. I didn't watch the NWA pay-per-view. You had mentioned you watched it.
I did.
And you let me know about the commentary, which I had a complaint with previously.
Yeah, and I still have an issue, but the matches were good.
I saw the Deathmatch King showed up.
Yeah, he showed up, made a claim for the 10 pounds of gold. He's going after Murdoch.
If they're smart, Cardona gets that belt.
Oh, yeah.
He's got all the. He's got way more behind him than Murdoch does. Yeah. Again, GCW is much. I think it's more popular than NWA at this
right
point.
now. Yeah.
I really do. So,
and I'm gonna throw something else at you. Nick Aldis is a babyface right now.
oh,
If Cardona wins the world title, Cardona and Aldis on NWA television would be a great promo feud because both of them are great talkers.
right. And Aldis is married to,
Mickey James.
and Cardona is married to
Hot Mess. What's her name? Chelsea.
Chelsea. It writes
Hot
itself.
Mess, that's a new
the
name.
Hot
That's
Mess.
her nickname, the Hot Mess.
But it writes itself, right? And that's where we're going. You've already called it right there. We're going to do the mixed tag, just similar to what they've done in GCW with Bussy. My favorite
Mixed tag is actually, when I first saw John Cena, it was with Dawn Marie.
We're not talking about the movies you
I was at
and
that show.
your friend Joe watch.
This was at the
Care
assembly
about you
hall
and
this
your
one
mixed
time.
tags.
Against Billy Kidman and Tori Wilson. I think I was at that show.
Was
that-
Cena
was
gave
that
us
when
a
he was the
ticket, so-
prototype in his pink pants?
Well, he was
I
wearing,
was
he
there.
was wearing the tights. He
Yes.
wasn't the prototype,
no.
but he was still John Cena.
Was he?
Right.
But I remember that. I was there. That
But
he
I
had,
could
like,
see
the-
him at that point.
Yeah, he wasn't invisible. He wasn't invisible yet. He hadn't gotten his doctorate in thugonomics yet.
Right. There you
Oh
go.
no, then I didn't see that one. John Cena came into my world as thugonomics, and now the "you can't see me" era.
And he stayed in her head from that point forward.
Yes, sir, he has. Until he decided to be doing commercials like the cow commercials.
I enjoy those commercials. That cow tickles me.
What about the? He does the pistachio. Is that what
Yes,
you're talking
he
about?
does.
The cow's the Experian commercial.
Okay, but he
Right.
does
The
the pistachio
elephant is
for-
the pistachio
That's it.
commercial.
Yeah. While you're on the news thing, I don't know if you guys, you may know it, but the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, got the People's Choice Award last week for being the People's Champion. That was officially the
Makes
award he
sense.
was handed, and then he immediately handed it off to a Make-A-Wish recipient.
Is that the same show he was with the Amazon fella?
Bezos
Jeff
introduced him.
Yeah.
Bezos introduced him. He said, his achievements are legend. His work ethic is unparalleled. He transcends all demographics. He's impossible not to like, and he can sure put down a lot of pancakes.
Did
But
you
even with all that, the thing that really stands out the most, he's kind. You see, kindness is a choice. And what I admire most in Dwayne is his choice to show unwavering kindness to everyone around him. And then he gave the award to a Make-A-Wish kid, who I guess went, for lack of a better word, apeshit. Just totally surprised, shocked, and that was great.
and then sold it on eBay.
Probably so, but I mean, that.
Did
brings
you
us
see
around
what The
to-
Rock was wearing at this award thing? That's what I want to talk
Yeah,
about.
that
He
was,
looks ridiculous.
I haven't-
Yeah,
What was he
yeah.
wearing? I must have
He's
missed
got
Hang
like
on.
a bright silk red shirt, and I think
There he
pants.
goes.
There it is. Yeah, looks ridiculous.
All right, want to be Hugh Hefner?
It doesn't even match.
Right?
No, it doesn't.
Maybe we'll throw that up on the page, Mark. You
I wonder if he
screenshot
lost
that
it.
and share it so people live can
Yeah.
see it.
I
But
wonder
he
if
looks ridiculous.
I wonder if he lost the jacket. He was supposed to be a full suit, but he didn't.
I bet that little kid's got it. He was probably wearing it.
It'd be better if he had the turtleneck and the gold chain and the fanny pack.
Oh
That's,
yes.
yeah. The throwback look.
Which, by the way, Danhausen has a T-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees where he's wearing that outfit.
Very nice.
And it's very nice, very evil, and very ridiculous in a good way.
That's a guy, getting off subject, he's guaranteed to sign with AEW.
Yeah, he's got a feud waiting for him with the Ass Boys.
The Ass Boys. Well, I just read
what is
the Ass Boys. Billy Gunn and his Ass Boys.
Oh.
The Gun Club.
I used to
Billy
love
Gunn.
Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn for 93 years old looks incredible. I think he's 93. I don't know.
I don't think
Get our
so.
fact checker on that one.
He may be up in his 40s, but he
is 53 years old.
Oh,
He
goodness.
looks incredible.
About the size of a brick shit house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I read the other day that Dax Harwood's back to Danhausen said he'd like Danhausen to come over and take over AEW, kind of be like an authority figure where he runs everything. That's the article I read, that Danhausen should control AEW.
Commissioner Hausen?
Yes, Commissioner Hausen. Oh, it could be entertaining.
Yeah. Well, I asked you this earlier. If he goes to AEW, does Tony pony up the money and buy the rights to tequila?
He's got to. The crowd, we know that the crowd loves that theme music. You know what I want to see? It's often is Danhausen against Darby Allin. I want to see the two
I actually thought
painted
of that earlier.
weirdos, because it doesn't really match. But I mean, it would be, I don't know, it would be something.
What about a Danhausen Sting promo?
Woo!
That to me, I don't know
it's-
who the
we're gonna woo
Danhausen
and
guy is, but that to me sounds unorthodox. And
You're not familiar with Danhausen?
no.
no.
See,
Yeah.
get a picture of Danhausen in the
See if
show,
I can
Andrea.
see
We'll talk about.
Danhausen here.
But I know Sting,
The Stanger.
because
He was great in the police.
yeah.
Roxanne. That's Danhausen. As you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see why I would like him to wrestle.
They should honestly. He would be cool with Finn Balor's demon the demon character or something.
Yeah, he's kind of a goofy version of
Yeah,
that.
he's not as serious.
Yeah.
For people who don't listen to a lot of podcasts, Danhausen is a very entertaining podcast interview subject. He was on Renee Paquette's podcast and on Tacos Jericho, like in character, and it was just
What?
great.
Shout out to Jonathan Mayer and his ass boys.
Oh boy.
Hey, Jonathan, I haven't had a chance yet to check out your unboxing video. Jonathan Mayer does the Pro Wrestling Crate unboxing video, similar to what Kyler does. John's got a lot of followers out there. I know Ryan Barkin, who runs Pro Wrestling Tees, follows John. Actually shared John's stuff on the Pro Wrestling Tees webpage and everything. So John's got a lot of followers. Check that out. Anybody who subscribes to the Pro Wrestling Crate, it's pretty awesome. A lot of good stuff showed up at my mailbox today. So
Good stuff.
good stuff.
So what do wrestling fans do over the holidays, guys? What do we do? What do we drink?
Well, I guess it depends. If you have it, I can only speak for what I did this past weekend. Drink a lot of The Rock's tequila.
Very good, very smooth. We had two options here Saturday night. We had the Blanco
And the reposado.
and the Reposado, and he's got an Añejo coming out that
Yes, we're waiting
we
on
will
that
definitely be in line for. But to be honest, I mean, these gimmick tequilas, I mean, you say, oh, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, it's got it. I've had Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish's tequila, or not tequila, his whiskey. It's absolute garbage.
Oh,
And
God.
I love Darius Rucker, but it's terrible. It tastes like something you drink out of the Charleston, South Carolina
It's
toilets.
stomach acid.
It's bad, but this is good tequila. Anybody listening that hasn't had it, I would definitely recommend going out giving it a shot. It's
We
good
should
stuff.
we should get the breathalyzer one day and see how many shots of Teremana it takes before you're just too screwed up to drive. Or what is there a podcast limit? 0.0 what, or is it 0.2 something? What is it?
We may have reached. I don't know why we didn't bring the bottle back here, but might
That's
do that on
because
the break.
that's because we just have to start this.
Oh,
We can
So-
always go get it.
so when we go to the break, which my mom's calling, she knows I'm on the podcast. My mother is calling
For
us
us
right now.
people who
I'm
don't
looking at Mark
drink
Redmond.
during
He's
the
like, the
holidays.
show's off the rails
For-
already.
for you
We've been on
non-drinkers,
3
yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
The show has
For
dropped
us-
the rail.
For us
Non-drinkers, what do you
non-drinkers
do?
during the holidays, we just enjoy our company with friends and family and
And
hanging
make
out
fun of
and
them.
enjoying the extra time with them that we don't normally get. And
I hope Dwayne's being serious and not sexually perverse here, but he wants to know how Chris Jericho's bubbly tastes.
I can speak on that, Dwayne. I've had it.
Dwayne, your wording is everything.
Dwayne, it's not great. Be honest. I gave Rachel. I don't mind it. Alcohol's alcohol. Rachel took a drink of it and about spit it back out in the cup. So it is. It's not sparkling champagne. It's sparkling wine. I bought 2 bottles. I opened one. I drank half of it. I poured the other down the drain, and the other one sits on my shelf currently.
Waiting to be autographed.
So back
At some
to the
point.
Chris Jericho WWE days. Does that make the list or not make the
It
list?
makes the terrible alcohol list. Yes, it's
Yes.
number 1. It's a cool bottle, so the bubbly. I was reading the other day, they were talking about, so I don't remember what website it was, but maybe it was Pro Wrestling something. I don't know. They voted each year on comments and things like that, or catchphrases. Jericho has won 3 times in the last 5 years. 2 years in a row for you made the list.
Yeah.
And 1 year for a little bit of the bubbly. So good for Jericho, if nothing else.
The guy's a catchphrase machine.
He is.
Going back to WCW, he was always coming up with stuff.
I just read this last weekend. Doctors ordered not to sing anymore.
Are you
Or
struggling?
at least for right now. Oh,
Trying
just
to
pop
get it
a
on the
top
mic-
over there.
Trying to get the cork to pick up on the microphone there, Marco.
But
Popping bottles.
we're going to share on the page right now. So we're drinking. We got the Teremana here. Hang on.
Oh, boy.
Here's the pour.
Nothing says a good
There's the
podcast
bottom.
like
There it
tequila.
is. The producer. So we'll share it. If
A
anybody's never had
producer's
it.
producing under the influence, which could be very entertaining.
Oh, man.
That's a PUI or PUI.
I'm going to share it to the Jumping the Rail story right now.
Do you have a drum button on there? Bump.
I do.
Yeah, he's got one of those, and I've got this.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh boy. So where are we at now? We really have jumped around. Are we doing
Okay.
this shot real quick?
Yeah,
You guys
do
are
a
doing the shot.
Cheers.
I'm gonna
Cheers
get
to
it.
all y'all.
If you smell.
I wanna
What the
kinda-
rock is selling.
I want to kind of get into what we're doing in 2 weeks, Narge, if that's all right with you. So
What are we doing?
we're doing our year in review episode, and we kind of went into this a little bit at the last episode. We're gonna kind of break down the year, different categories, and we're gonna kind of give our take on the best things to happen in wrestling this year. But what we're doing is we're going to have one for our listeners to vote on, which is going to be what was the best match of the year in 2021.
Also, which one of us is the sexiest? I heard they were going to vote on that.
I did not hear that, but I like my chances.
Well, I mean, by default, hands down, I probably win right
Marco.
now.
Oh,
But
I don't know, man. Might be competitive.
but what
That
we're gonna-
really fucking isn't.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a poll out there also for you guys to
Hey,
vote.
you speak for your own poll.
What Mark is going to do is put his poll
It
out
might
there.
might be a slippery
Mine's a single poll at least.
one. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a list of 10 matches for you guys to choose from.
I didn't get to pick any of these, by the way.
I think you'll agree with them.
Yeah, I did.
Look at the list and disagree. That's what this is all about.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm getting a call from Huntsville, Alabama right now. You know who this is?
Oh, Conrad.
This is Conrad Thompson's guy. I'm not going to answer it because it won't be Conrad. It'll be Bill. But Conrad Thompson, I attempted to refi my mortgage about 3 months ago. This guy calls me religiously once a week. So, Conrad, if you listen, if you happen to tune in one time,
Tell Bill to stop fucking calling.
yeah, tell Bill to stop calling. But kudos to your team for just
Persistent.
they are persistent and relentless, and I appreciate that. All right, Mark, go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna run down the list of your matches to choose from before the 28th, and it's basically 10 matches. Kind of it spans all the territories, a little bit of everything. So you got. I need my glasses.
Do you need me to hold it over here for you, Mark, so you can
put
see?
your spectacles
Yeah.
on.
Because I usually don't have my contacts in. So you got Shingo versus Jeff Cobb from Wrestle Kingdom 15. Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly from NXT on the TV match, not the TakeOver match. Kushida versus Johnny Gargano from TakeOver Vengeance Day in February. Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker from Dynamite, the Lights Out match, which I know Narge is a big fan of. Cole versus O'Reilly, TakeOver Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania weekend. Then one that I saw. I don't think Narch has seen this yet. The Iron Man match between Josh Alexander and TJP from Impact. Went
Nope.
60 plus minutes. It was damn good. Edge versus Rollins from SummerSlam.
I like that one.
Walter versus Dragunov from TakeOver.
That
One of my favorites.
yes.
You got the Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers from All Out.
Is that the cage?
Yes.
Where you
The
put the
thumbtack
thumbtacks
shoes?
on the shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was a good one.
And then the last one we have is actually from this past weekend. I got the Briscoes versus OGK from Final Battle.
Okay.
If you guys have Fight TV or Honor Club, maybe it's on YouTube. You can check that out. And we'll put these on a poll for the next 2 weeks. And
Can
then,
we add one more?
All right, we'll Narch throw a wild card in.
We gotta add the War Games. GCW. We gotta add the War Games match.
I love that match. That's not just for
Is that with Alex?
sentimental purposes, is it?
Is that Alex's match?
Well,
Yeah.
it was all of the guys.
Are you talking about the entire show?
Yeah, it was. Well,
Okay.
it was the war. It was the cage.
Uh-huh.
I just think you need a wild card, and I think that's the one. We don't have any
I'm down.
GCW. I think that's a good one.
I'll agree to that.
All right. For me, I don't get a vote, but
Well, you can give.
But
what you
I
think.
do.
all right. So for me, Baker and Rosa.
That's just because his name's Baker.
Or, well, I love
A little
some Britt
bias
Baker.
there.
Yeah. Or man, the tequila's hitting. Walter and Dragunov, which wasn't even the main event, okay?
No.
But it stole the chops. I mean, Dragunov. It was so awesome. Those are my two matches. They really are.
Dragunov's chest was Stroganoff at the end of that match.
It was.
What a
Both
name.
of those, again, for sentimental purposes, War Games. I gotta experience War Games
go
with
War
one of
Games.
my best friends, with my son. I'll never forget the end of that night. Kyler still tells people, he's like, Nick Gage picked me up, Dad, and spun me around. And he did. For anybody that's listening, we went to War Games at the end. We got to meet Mance Warner. We got to meet Nick Gage. And Nick, we went up to him. My son was like, can I get a picture with you? And he was like, fuck yeah, little man. And then he picked him up and spun him around. And Kyler, I've never seen him so happy. After
He
that,
he was lit up.
he was. And I was so jealous. I told him, I said, Kyler, I wanted to meet Nick Gage. And he said, Dad, hang on. And Kyler fought his way through, I bet, 30 people. And he tells he taps Nick Gage on the shoulder. He says, my dad wants to meet you. And he said, where the fuck's he at? I said, can I get a picture? He said, fuck yeah.
We still gotta get Kyler to learn the whole. My little brother has cancer. Can he
Yeah.
come meet you, gig?
That's it. We're going to figure that out. But I'll tell you what, GCW.
Oh, by the way, folks, we would never actually do that. It's a running joke.
That's pretty awesome. Your son fulfilled a dream for you.
He did.
Although-
And then,
To bat
but
for
he
you.
did. He went, and if Kyler's listening, he's not. He's at Police Academy. Kyler is a little police officer.
He's the Michael Winslow of the grind.
That was such an awesome show, Mark, and we're going to get to do it again.
Yes.
Couple
in
weeks.
January.
January
Me, you,
15th. Yep.
me, you, Kyler. We're going January 15th. We're going to see the Briscoes. We're going
Yep.
to see PCO.
Yeah.
We're going to see
Just announced Jonathan Gresham's going to be
Jonathan Gresham, but we're going
Ooh.
the main one. Come on, the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky fucking Morton.
Yes.
I've had a lot of tequila. Ricky Morton.
there. Greatest mullet in the business.
I mean, the guy's still. He's like 80 years old. And he's still wrestling.
Your estimates are a little skewed. He's in his late 60s. I would
You know
say.
what I want to
they call
see?
the new math.
I want to see Ricky
It's
Morton
Steiner
against.
math.
I want to see
Yeah.
Ricky Morton against Billy Gunn.
You'll see the Rock and Roll Express against the Ass Boys.
The ass boy. No, I don't want the ass boys. I want Billy Gunn by
There's a
himself.
lot of ass talk here.
I love the fact that Billy Gunn wore the Ass
Andrea's
Boys
not
T-shirt
complaining.
on
I'm
Dark
not.
yesterday.
I can't lie. I do like the ass boys.
I told you. Hey, now you and your ass. I
I'm
told you.
female perspective over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark,
not
I told
holding
you.
back.
It writes itself though. If Danhausen was healthy, him and Billy Gunn,
Mm-hmm.
incredible first feud. That puts him over. You beat a legend. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame, right? Is DX in the Hall of Fame? Yeah. Right? Am I wrong?
Speak of Hall of Fame. Sorry, completely train railed,
What are you
derailing.
doing?
But
You're the guest.
what do you think about like Mizanin introducing
that's just marvelous heel tactics. Basically, Nards, you probably didn't see this. He announced himself as the next inductee in the Hall of Fame last night.
The Miz did?
Yeah, it's not true.
I'd induct him I'd induct him at Mania.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer. But he was just doing it to get himself, I think, because he's feuding with Edge, so he said he's going to be the next.
You know who should be his inductee? Josh Matthews, who he beat.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, he beat him in Tough Enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys can get back on topic. I just
So
off the rail.
So I got one
You jumped the rail.
We're going to touch
Get it
on
right.
something for a few, then we're going to take a little break, Marco, if that's all right. And,
Let me check my calendar.
We got some rough news the last few days.
Oh no.
A couple guys that we lost in the business. Number one, last Wednesday, the great Blackjack Lanza passed away
Oh.
from I guess he had dementia. He's
One half the
86.
Blackjacks with Blackjack Mulligan.
Yep, the original Blackjack with Bobby Heenan.
I don't know if you saw Vince McMahon actually tweeted out about it. So that's how you know it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Vince had a lot of respect for Blackjack Lanza.
Blackjack was one of Vince's right-hand guys for a long time. And, yes, he passed away last Wednesday night, or Wednesday sometime. And he got a huge outpouring from people that worked for WWF over the years, people that he worked with in AWA. You know, he was always working with Heenan, teamed up with Bockwinkel and Stevens and all those guys. And so he will be sorely missed. He was a great mind for the business. And then just yesterday, Narge, we found out Jimmy Rave passed away from he had a lot of problems. He had a huge MRSA infection. It was awful. Cost him one arm and both legs in the last couple of years, I think.
Yeah,
And,
I don't think anything has really come out about what happened,
No,
but
they
there's a
haven't
lot
said
of assumptions, and it's unfortunate. So we talked earlier. I subscribe to Pro Wrestling Crate. I subscribe also to a company called Pro Wrestling Loot, who has a Jimmy Rave figure coming out, and everything. All the money was going to go to him. At this point, they're going to do a variation of that figure, and everything's going to go to his children.
Yeah, I think he had said before he had a GoFundMe going because he had upwards of $100,000 in hospital bills that he was trying to get help with.
He had said, he didn't take very good care of his health over the years.
No.
Anybody listening, if there's something wrong, go get checked out. Figure it out. Make sure. Don't just assume whatever is wrong with you is going to go away.
Right.
I've been guilty of that.
And don't assume it's unfixable.
Right.
Yeah, everything is fixable. Well, not everything, but it should be. Just don't have too much pride to go and figure it out. And if you need help, reach out to somebody. We talked about this, Mark. I don't know if this was due to that or if Jimmy took his life, okay?
Right.
If you're listening and you're depressed or anything like that, reach out to somebody. There are hotlines. There are people. We have friends who are counselors. Reach out to somebody who can help you.
Right.
Whatever you're feeling, I'm sorry, Mark.
No.
Whatever you're feeling in this moment is probably a temporary feeling, okay? And it can be fixed. You have to look for the positives in life. The life is not always terrible. It's a temporary thing. So that's my suggestion. Just reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
I think Nikki Sixx and his man sang a song called "Life Is Beautiful."
Yep.
Yes.
And it's
I love that song.
Songs like that. In fact, that band has written some of the best rock songs in the last 5 years at least.
Yeah, but I mean, like we said, they haven't announced for sure what the cause of death was with Jimmy. What I'm going to say is this: if you haven't seen him work, I encourage you to do it because he was a very technically sound guy. He was a very versatile wrestler. He didn't do a lot of the high flying, even though he was a junior heavyweight for most of his career. But he was one of those ground, almost like a Benoit type almost, with he could do the submissions and the strikes and things like that. And I posted on our page yesterday. I wanted to post a match on off of YouTube, so I threw on. I don't know if you saw this match before, Narge, but his cage match with CM Punk from Ring of Honor in 2005.
I haven't had a chance to watch it. You shared it with us on the page, and I'm going to go back and look at it. I've been a busy couple of days, but I want to see it. And he's one of those guys, similar to some other indie guys, huge outpouring for Jimmy Rave.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys, and I want to say this, and maybe I'll sound like a dick, but why wait now? Why wait till he passed away to share?
That's something I hear a lot on Busted Open, especially when somebody passes away. Mark Henry or Bubba Ray, they'll say, always try to give people flowers when they're still alive to receive them.
The thing is, he's been going through so much for the past year, and now all of a sudden it's, Jimmy, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be a dick about it. And maybe some of these guys have reached out.
I know I've been seeing support here and like out there, but
I just if you aren't supporting somebody and you feel like maybe you should, now is the time. It's the holidays. Holiday season is one of the biggest times of the year where people are depressed and they are a lot of self-reflection.
A lot of feeling alone.
Yeah. So if there's somebody out there and you're like, man, I want to reach out to them, do it. I encourage you to do that. Let them know that you're thinking about them. And sometimes maybe that's all it takes is just, hey, I'm thinking about you.
You never know.
You never know.
So here's to.
So yeah, we're going to finish with our tribute to Blackjack Lands and Jimmy Ray, but then we're going to take a little break and we'll be back with the next half of the show.
The break music, by the way, will be provided by the Zach Dable Band, who are a local to, is it Westville?
Fairmount, Catlin, Vermilion County area. So yeah, Zach Dable. We're gonna do the Zach Dable Band.
We'll do Zach now. Yes.
All right. Here, we're gonna have the Zach Dable Band. We have a band called the Hangovers. Shout out to Perry Dable, American Family Insurance. His son's band and they have offered to let us play some of their tunes, and we absolutely appreciate letting them allow us to do that. And once we do, we're going to do a great 10-bell salute here to our fallen heroes, and then we're going to go into that. And we'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
Shredding
All right, we are back. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks to Perry Dable and
The Zach Dable Experience.
The Zach Dable Experience for giving us some tunes for the break. And now we're going to get kind of into our theme for the evening, which is
Which is actually not tequila.
It is not tequila. It's we're going to kind of discuss a little bit about the holidays since we're about 11 days away from Christmas, if my math is right.
Yes, so yesterday would have been the 12th day of Christmas.
Yeah, I guess so.
My wrestler gave to me 12 bottles of tequila.
So what? 11 ring rats humping or something?
Oh,
Holy
Lord.
shit! We should do that. We should write a 12.
We should write a 12
12 drunk songs of Christmas or some shit.
I think we're on our way now.
I think 12 days of wrestling Christmas is.
Hey, Andrea, can you drive if we get really hammered? Because we can't make it out of here.
Let's be honest.
Oh,
All work
Jesus.
Christmas parties start and end this way with regret, and that's how this podcast is going to end with regret. Episode 11, regret.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and I also I
Episode
forgot,
11 is the recap
Hey, you better
of the
slow
regret.
down on them sprites,
Yeah,
mister.
I know. I completely forgot that. Also, on our next episode, we're going to have Keith Gibson joining us from
Keith.
Pass Lounge Radio.
Ooh.
Helping us out with our list.
The OG KG.
The OG.
He just messaged us to ask us, were we still on? Is everything cool? We're like, of course,
Yeah,
bro.
KG, we are good.
Keith, you listening? It's all good, baby.
We're ready to have you, and not in a creepy way.
All right.
But
Oh, jeez.
yeah, so we got Keith on the 28th, and from the sounds of it, on the 11th of January, we got a special guest going to be calling in, and that is the voice of GCW, Mr. Kevin Gill.
The
Just
king,
a couple
the king of
days for the show.
the king of
Yeah.
fuck this and fuck that, Kevin
Yep.
Gill. That's
No,
what
no,
he
no,
does.
excuse me.
4 days before.
He is an understudy of mine. I guarantee you I drop more fucks than anybody you know.
I will tell you what, though. Kevin Gill gets a lot of grief online. Jim Cornette's even given him some.
I find that hilarious.
But
Hilarious?
Kevin Gill comments how I would comment when I watched the show. Somebody does something, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
And he does that.
Yep.
And that's why people
Well,
relate
he was the guy.
to him.
He was the guy announced when we watched that GCO, and I
Yes.
was like, "This is fucking awesome." I mean, I wish their audio sounded better, but they're fucking living this. They're not just watching.
And Mark, you're not alone. I was in the comments this weekend. They
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, great, another show where it sounds like you're in somebody's bedroom and you can't
Right.
make out any of the music." We love GCW. Why they can't
Fantastic
figure out how to
stuff.
get the music and the mics.
It's a money. It's a
Also-
money, production equipment, and talent thing.
Also, shout out to Kevin on the Nick Gage Invitational Tournament. He actually shouted out this podcast on the air.
He did. That was cool.
Yeah. I didn't think he'd do it. I just put a tweet out, and then I just heard my name. I was like, oh, crap. He's
I
gonna-
popped. I marked out in my basement. I was like, oh. Rachel was like, what is wrong with you?
Hey, Perry, thanks for listening, brother. Perry Dable listening in tonight.
Perry
Perry,
Dable.
did the song sound good, Perry? Just let us know in the comments.
Oh, also, Dwayne, I see you had a comment. We saw this during the break. You say The Miz has a long way to go before he makes it to the Hall of Fame. He doesn't have that far to go.
Hey, it's a
I-
long way to the top.
He's
Dwayne.
closer than I am.
The far way he's got to go is just in years, like how whenever he decides to retire.
Miz is first ballot.
Yeah.
He's from where he started to where he is. You know, and I think about Miz when he did.
Real World?
Well, yes, I remember Real World, but Real World
That was an MTV show.
Yes,
but
it
the
was.
but the Tough Enough thing where it
Wow.
was the Diva Search. He screwed up. Remember where all the stuff right off his
notes or
arm?
whatever. Yeah.
It is what it is. But Miz's first ballot, Perry Dable, American Family Insurance. If anybody needs an insurance guy, Perry Dable, he's the man. I know he refers my company out that I work for, Clean Right. If you need water or mold restoration.
Welcome to Shillathon.
Welcome to this. This show is brought to you by.
I mean, if you have really
Reb-
small people that need daycares, Andrea can hook you
Yeah,
up.
Chesapeake Academy. Mark
Yeah.
Redmond hates this. He's like, God damn it, we're off script.
Hey,
Let's
we
get
don't
back
have,
on.
We don't have much of a script today.
No,
today
we
it's
don't.
all about
I had a
having a
very
blast.
detailed format for the show. Then all of a sudden, it's like, let's just be loose and do
Goosey goosey.
whatever.
All right,
Hey,
so
we're
real
live,
quick,
pal.
So real quick, folks, because we need to get responses from you guys on the chatterbox here, okay? We want to play a game. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. I'm sure by now everybody's heard of it, but it's really simple.
He's an
the
actor.
theory is that for any actor in the world,
My wife
you
hates
can
him.
find at most 6 steps between that actor and Kevin Bacon. So So, like somebody that acted in a movie with Kevin Bacon is at the 0 degree. Somebody that acted in a movie with somebody else that acted with Kevin Bacon is a degree off. We decided we'd have fun with it tonight, and what we want you guys to do is throw at us there's certain rules here. One rule is any actor in the world you want, fine. But then the other one has to be a professional wrestler that has been in a production, a movie, a television, or sometimes like appeared on Fallon and shit works.
Try to avoid like
Music
Broadway
is-
because I don't
yeah.
know anything about Broadway.
Well, yeah, but the
Test
6
us.
degrees theory is all about the film industry. So, I mean, what's that guy that was in the Scream movies that also did the wrestling thing? Arquette. Okay, so he was in that, but I don't know if that qualifies in the wrestling arena because I don't think wrestling shows are applicable to this.
Number
See,
one,
it would though. If you put David Arquette in,
with
Does
Goldberg.
it show that he
it's
was in
game
the WWE?
over, right? Like that's how you get
do
the
we
Rock.
do we remove David Arquette from voting because it'd just be too
Well,
easy?
what did Arquette and Kevin Bacon? No, Kevin Bacon doesn't matter.
No, we're not
right?
doing Kevin Bacon.
It
That's just-
doesn't matter.
So the first challenge I throw to the listeners is throw me the Chevy
Here we go.
Chase to Dwayne Johnson. Tell me what degree we are. Tell me what we're connecting here, folks.
Wait a minute.
Chevy
I've got-
Chase to Dwayne Johnson. Go.
Well, all right. So Jonathan Mayer said,
That's
let's
for the
start.
listeners.
It
I
looks
know
like
that,
you
but
have
Jonathan
somebody-
Mayer said, let's start with Swoggle. John, why would
Swoggle.
you do
What a-
that?
You sumbitch, you.
Come on.
Swoggle.
Is that the little shit?
The
No,
little guy.
Swoggle is from.
he
Oh,
loves it
gosh.
when you call him a little shit.
John's trying
He
to be
was.
cute.
Swoggle is
John,
what?
I'm coming to your house.
Labyrinth? Is it Labyrinth of Swoggle? Is that the name?
Dylan Postel is his name.
Is that the
Yeah.
actor?
Yeah,
No.
it's the wrestler.
It's
The
the
wrestler.
wrestler's
Oh, okay.
actual
Hornswoggle.
surname.
He was a leprechaun.
Rich
Oh.
Dalton,
I thought
thank you for
Swoggle-
listening.
Oh, from yeah, there we go. Yeah. So Jennifer Aniston. Yes. Then done. We're done. You lose.
Well, no, he wasn't in the movie Leprechaun.
Not that
Oh,
guy.
he's
No,
not
he's
the
a
same
wrestler
guy.
who was
Oh.
a
guy.
What is this?
he's a
wow.
diminutive fellow who was a leprechaun on wrestling
Diminutive. Is that
television.
the way we call it now?
I'm trying to be nice because he could still kick my ass.
All right, Mark.
Hey, whoa. Jonathan said he was in a Muppets movie.
Hornswoggle
Why
was?
don't I see that?
I don't know. He said, let's start with Swoggle. He was in the Muppets movie.
Now,
Good
hang on, you
job,
gotta-
Jonathan.
So who are we? Hang on, slow down. The Rock's tequila. This is his. Yeah. Who are we trying to link Swoggle to? To
Yeah, he
John
just-
Mayer?
He just
If
not
your
John
body
Mayer.
was
Right.
wonderland.
No, wait a minute. If he was in the Muppets movie, then Swoggle has a bacon number of 0 with John fucking Denver.
Miss Piggy.
Look
Bacon.
at and Miss Piggy.
Oh. Who's sleeping over here?
No, it's pig. That's a pig noise. That's what Baker does, my
Oh.
boy.
Hey, if your children are listening, tell them to put their earmuffs on right now. But what's green and smells like bacon?
Kermit's hands.
Oh. Got a button for
Cheers. Hang on a minute. There's got to be one in there somewhere.
Hey, where's all of our Christmas buttons? Do we have a Christmas button? Hallelujah! Holy shit!
that? We just went to church.
Shit! There it is. All right, we have 4 listeners. We can't lose them with your drunk shenanigans.
Okay,
Redman.
so again, listeners, number 1, Chevy Chase to Dwayne Johnson. See if you can figure it out. Number 2, throw us 2 names. Name 1, some famous actor, actress, etc. And number 2, a wrestler or a wrestling industry person that has been in a movie or television show at least once. And let's see if we can connect those dots for you.
That's right.
And Andrea's got her hand up.
Which
Sorry.
is great on an audio podcast.
And we're gonna ignore Swoggle. 'cause
Everybody
we don't
there
know the
saw
answer.
it. Everybody on there
I
saw
work
it.
at a school. I'm used to raising my hand,
Fair enough.
okay?
And your voice. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Mine would be Magic Mike with Kevin Nash.
All right.
Big,
I don't think the
sexy.
concept is working here. Magic Mike has Kevin Nash, but what you're
Yeah.
trying to do is figure out some other actors connecting to Kevin Nash that wasn't in that movie. So,
We're losing
Jonathan,
listeners.
Jonathan,
we only have 2, and
Jonathan,
I'm one of them.
Jonathan, I've been told that being a heel is better, so we're going fucking heel.
What do you say?
He said, "Don't go heel on your 4 listeners."
John, don't count our listeners.
No.
And we're back to 4. It was 2. It was 2.
All right.
Now we're the
Will
4
we get
horsemen.
more listeners?
Well, that's
if
because the
Marko and
FCC
Nars
is
have a
listening
fist
in.
fight?
The FCC's listening in. A fist fight.
Mark, look over there.
Narge already told everybody, I don't punch
Well,
anything.
we got a riveting wrestling card in the living room in here on Saturday night with the fighting Narge boys. For
Oh,
We
wow.
did,
That's a
the Mighty Murray and the Killer Kyler. So
Yeah,
it went down.
Murray fights dirty. He was
What
a
about-
little stiff.
What
Murray-
about the 2-on-1 there? Mighty Murray, Kyler, and then
I
you
thought she
had
was talking about her
Baker.
side. Saturday
Badass
night.
Baker.
Badass
yeah, little
Baker.
badass Baker. That's what happens. The little ones against the big one. So, and I've seen it at my house. Murray was doing it. Actually, so Mark here had bought my boys some gifts, and they were these creepy masks.
They were.
It looks like they
Horrifying.
It looks like they had skinned Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns' face. Hello,
Clarice.
I came down the other morning. They're shirtless in their jammy pants with these
With
masks.
some fava beans.
Murray says, weighing in at 125 pounds, Seth freaking Rollins. That's my 3-year-old. My 9-year-old says, weighing in at 98 pounds, Roman Reigns. I'm concerned. I think Kyler thinks Roman may still have cancer.
Maybe they meant kilograms.
98
Maybe they were
pounds.
watching the BBC and they meant
Are they-
kilograms.
Are they teaching metric in the grade school system in Muhammad?
My biggest concern was that they were going to break my TV.
That is a very real concern.
They were all over each other. At one point, Murray took his hand over Kyler's head back and forth and said, Nick Gage. That's my 3-year-old. I don't know how he knows what Nick Gage does, but he said, Nick Gage, Daddy. And
Has your 3-year-old ever lived in
was-
your house and been in the same room with you?
it's possible.
Then this
Did he
is
have-
why.
Did he have
He
a
was
little
hope-
pizza cutter?
He was hoping for color.
Red makes green.
It does. All right, we're off the rails. We're jumping the rails.
so
what are we
we're
doing?
jumping
All right,
off
let's
the
do that.
rails.
So while
Here.
we're waiting on,
I'm going to test Mark.
Responses.
Mark-
Okay.
No, I want to test Mark Redmond.
Okay.
Actor, wrestler.
All right.
Tom Cruise, John Cena. Go. That's an easy. Come
Ah,
on.
there we go.
I'm ashamed that I don't know this one.
I'm sure it's easy. Let me think here.
Come on, those are biggies. This is a softball. I don't know the answer because I've been drinking tequila, but I bet somebody in Suicide Squad did something.
He said, I'm sure it's easy, and I was wondering whose sister he was talking about.
It's not mine. Sorry, Brian.
Tom Cruise to Robert Duvall, Days of Thunder.
I said Tom Hanks.
No, you said Tom Cruise.
You said Tom Cruise.
I meant Hanks.
No, wait, I got it though.
All right, we'll do Cruise.
So Cruise to Duvall to Will Ferrell to John Cena.
What was Will Ferrell?
Grown-ups too.
Daddy Home 2!
Yeah, Daddy's
Damn,
Home.
Mark. Okay, I like
And,
it.
and he gets a bonus point for it being a fucking Christmas movie.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
you got to throw one my way now.
All right, let's go. I'm gonna give you Tom Hanks
Okay.
to Chris Jericho.
Oh, my. Chris Jericho.
Has been in a movie.
He has?
He has.
What
Well-
movie? You got-
By the way, guys, we just want to be clear about this. Pornhub movies don't qualify. If
Right.
you know any of them, don't throw them
Wait
at
a
us.
minute. Was he in Ready to Rumble?
No,
No. I don't know.
I'll give you. It was a Will Forte movie.
I still don't know. Who's Will Forte? No.
Okay, I'm gonna because it's kind of tricky. He was in MacGruber.
What?
MacGruber.
Who has watched that?
Nobody. That's why it was horrible.
No.
Who's watched that?
Yeah, you've
Nobody.
given me a brain buster.
Why are you
I
doing
don't
this?
know.
All right, I'm gonna give you a different one.
All
So
right.
stick with Tom Hanks, but you know what? Let's go Tom Hanks to The Rock.
Tom Hanks to the Rock.
Okay.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
So Tom Hanks has been with pretty much everybody at this point.
Nicole Kidman, Katie. Oh, what? Oh, you meant something else, didn't you?
No, that not Tom Cruise. Tom Hanks.
Oh, different Tom.
Come on.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. All right, so
Dwayne?
Tom Hanks to Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo's been with everybody. Who's my end game here?
The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock. All right, so Tom with Leo. Leo with Matt Damon in The Departed.
Okay.
Matt Damon with shit.
With shit.
I'm going somewhere.
Go with Ben Affleck.
Yep, Ben Affleck.
Matt
That's
Damon
good.
and Ben
That's
Affleck
good.
have
That's
been
good.
everywhere together.
And then Ben Affleck's been in some movies with
Jennifer Garner, J-Lo.
J-Lo.
Is there any J-Lo connection here yet?
And then J-Lo too. Come on, listeners, help me out. Who's J-Lo been in a movie with?
Oh, you said in a
In
movie.
a movie.
Well, she's been with everybody.
Wrestler-wise?
When she's not being the butt of jokes.
We have one listener. Is that me? I'm the only listener at this point.
Don't. I never look at that because it's not accurate.
That's not accurate. J-Lo and Woody Harrelson. And then
You only got one more degree to go, though.
So it's Woody with somebody and then The Rock, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Woody with
Tim Allen and The Rock ever do a show
Hang
together?
on. Woody with who The Rock has been with everybody.
He really has.
I don't know. I got
Kevin
nothing.
Hart. Just find a movie that Kevin Hart
but
connects
then-
with.
Duh, that's what it said. Or Sean William Scott. I was trying to figure that out.
Right.
Nah,
Walking.
Kevin Hart was in that movie about the airplane. It was like Half the Planet, and Snoop Dogg was in that.
Soul Plane.
Soul Plane.
Yes. And Snoop
That's-
Dogg was in that.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
And Snoop Dogg has been in a bunch of stuff,
Used in
too.
Starsky and Hutch.
Right? Starsky and Hutch, which was who?
Owen
Ben Stiller
Wilson
and Owen
and
Wilson.
yeah. A bunch of other
And
people. Will
Vince Vaughn.
Ferrell.
Will
Will Ferrell
Ferrell.
was in that. Will Ferrell was in the other guys with The Rock. Fuck yeah. There it is. I
Right.
knew we'd get there.
But
There
officially
we go.
speaking, Tom Hanks was in Hawaiian Vacation.
I have never heard of that, neither has anybody else.
That's fine. And in Hawaiian Vacation...
Is that a private movie with him and his old lady?
I don't know, but in that movie
A
was
Pornhub
Blake
movie?
Clark, and I posted Blake Clark on
Oh,
my
love
personal
that guy.
Facebook the other day. So do I.
I'll go play card.
So Tom Hanks was in Hawaiian Vacation with Blake Clark, who was in Get Smart with Dwayne Johnson.
Nice.
And Michael Scott from The Office.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's that Steve guy, but yeah.
Steve Carell. All right.
That's
What
his
else?
name.
What else we want to discuss, Mark? Maybe we need to get back on the rails.
So we're sticking. We discussed talking about some of our favorite movies here. Like I said, we're keeping it very loose.
Very loosey-goosey.
Just hanging loose on this one. We got a couple shows left in this year for January. So I want to put
This
it out
is...
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
there. So I'm just going to put it out first. As far as movies that star people from the illustrious wrestling business, Narge, if you had to pick one to show somebody the versatility of a professional wrestler, what would you choose?
Nothing with John Cena.
Hey, now.
Mark and I have talked the other day.
I feel attacked.
guilty pleasure is obviously Rocky 3 with Hulk Hogan
Now
and
wait,
Thunder
now,
Lips.
but
Boom.
I'm gonna call bullshit.
Was Mr. T a wrestler before or after that? Because he did a
was a
wrestling
bouncer.
thing too.
He was a bouncer.
For the wrestlers?
Yeah, he wrestled after Rocky 3.
Okay.
But he was an A-team at that point, right?
Yeah, no, it was right before the A-Team. That was 81.
Oh, really?
But I'm going to call bullshit because Hogan played a wrestler.
Yeah.
I said versatility.
Oh.
Okay.
For me, the first movie that I really enjoyed with a wrestler was Walking Tall with The Rock.
Oh, nice.
And
Nice.
which was a
yeah.
remake.
I enjoy that movie.
Now, when he did that, he was actually still billed as The Rock, not Dwayne
I
Johnson,
think
right?
I might have been used Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne
Yeah.
The Rock Johnson. That
He
was
had done
yeah.
Scorpion King, and then this was kind of either his second or third.
Yeah.
He did the rundown, and then he did Walking Tall, I think.
I
That's
think
right,
Walking
Scorpion
Tall
King.
was when he was like Dwayne the Rock Johnson,
Okay,
starting
yeah.
to convert into
Yeah.
just Dwayne Johnson
Yeah.
to become
He
a
was
full-blown
coming out of the
actor.
wrestling closet.
Yeah, essentially.
What made me enjoy it was not just him, but I really enjoyed Johnny Knoxville as well.
Yeah.
And I thought they worked well together in
Right.
that.
Neil McDonough was a really good asshole in that
He
movie.
he is. He's somebody you want to punch in the face, but I enjoyed that movie. And I don't like a ton of The Rock's movies. I like that. I really like Central Intelligence.
Right there. Okay, so
Him and
on
Kevin
that note,
Hart.
Central Intelligence to me is probably the most fun I've had at a movie with The Rock, but it's because of Kevin Hart. It's not that Dwayne Johnson. I mean, Dwayne Johnson. I mean, he did the fucking movie where he's a football player. He did the one where he's the Tooth Fairy. I mean, he's done a
Hey,
shit
I
ton.
like the Tooth
San
Fairy.
Andreas. I'll be honest. San Andreas, I went and saw with my youngest, Dallas, and we went to a theater, and they had the motion seats, and it was 3D. And that was the only movie I've ever seen where the motion seats seemed to make sense because the whole fucking planet's shaking.
Right.
that was a movie that I absolutely enjoyed. And if I were to put a list together of wrestling superstars in movies, San Andreas would be on it. But I agree with what he just said.
Andrea, what about you?
I have a few.
The
that are-
Marine Part 2, the Marine
no,
Part 3.
No, I like the original 12 rounds when John Cena,
Of course, Johnny Fair plays in that movie.
because he did phenomenal. I think they overplayed it, and also the Marines. I think they overplayed it. They should have
Nice.
just left it at like 1 or 2. But also
After Part 17, you got bored too?
after part
Well,
17, I
but they
kind of
also
started.
they switched guys too. It
Yeah,
wasn't
they kept
John Cena
switching
everywhere.
them to like
They went to
Randy
Moxley
Orton.
and-
Well, what they did was they said,
Yeah.
we can't afford this guy now.
Right. Ted DiBiase Jr. was the Marine once.
Randy Orton was the Marine.
Well, he was supposed to be. They had to pull him out because the actual Marines didn't want him involved because he went
AWOL. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, didn't RKO do a series with Ryan Collins?
I don't think so.
Like a show where it was like The Predator or something
No, I don't think so.
on USA? But
Maybe.
for my all-time favorite movie, I will go back to
All-time favorite movie involving a wrestler.
involving a wrestler.
Just making
I will
sure.
go back to say
One Night in China.
shocking. It's not with John Cena, but it is with The Rock. It's Tooth Fairy, because that
Why?
was one of his movies where he had to be vulnerable and show a different side of him, because it was with a kid in it, and he had to like do the spoiler alert coming at you. So if you haven't seen it, sorry.
By the way, you've had fucking years.
It's been
Sounds
50
like
But-
this sounds like Sunny's Sunny Days movie. It was her and a
But
kid.
with him in the tutu and everything,
Yeah, right,
and adapting to learning how to be a parent, it was
Did
just
you look under the tutu?
I guilty
had a
as
3-3.
charged. But
So,
I was just a great
Absolutely.
movie, a wholesome family
That's
movie.
fun.
and
this
it
is
was
when he
pure.
cycled off the steroids too, because he weighed
Yeah.
about 100 pounds less. Right.
So I too am going to go with a movie with Mr. Johnson in it, but I'm going
We
with
just
one.
like the Johnson here.
I'm going to go with one that I saw in the theater.
you like the
in New York
big
City back in
D
2005.
Johnson. Go ahead.
I went to a movie theater in New York with Dustin Danger. in
Ooh.
2005.
Double D, one of our former sponsors.
Yep.
He sponsored
Yep.
one of our
we were,
shows.
We were on tour,
Uh-huh.
which by on tour we were sitting in New York for 3 days waiting for a show, and we went to.
CBGBs, right?
You mean
Yeah.
waiting for a ride, don't you?
No, we had a ride because we had a parking ticket outside CBGB, but that's neither here nor there.
That's a badass joint, dude.
Right?
It just sounds like
But
heebie-jeebies.
Was yeah. Now it's a Barbados
Well,
store,
you know.
but that's beside the point. But we saw Be Cool in the theater with the Rock.
Travolta.
Get
Travolta.
Shorty
I like
sequel,
that
The
movie,
Get Shorty
too.
sequel, yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
actually
the-
still have that DVD.
The Rock is a gay bodyguard who's trying to be an actor in the movie.
Yes, he is.
And he actually sang that song "You Ain't Woman Enough to Be My Man" by Loretta Lynn.
Nice.
Oh man.
So now I got to go watch it again.
So I have a
Yes.
complaint.
Oh,
We've had a round table discussion.
go ahead, Karen.
Myself included.
Hey, that's my mother-in-law.
Yeah, we know what you said. Nobody mentioned Hulk Hogan and No Holds Barred or Suburban Commando
Well,
or
No
High
Holds
Noon
Barred
at
is playing
Mega
a wrestler.
Mountain
Or Mr. Nanny.
Mr.
Well,
Nanny.
it's Christmas. Santa with muscles.
Yes.
Ah, there we go.
But let's be honest. We all, well, not we all. You and I, we both loved No Holds Barred as a kid.
It's great. Saw it in the theater when I was 8.
It's awesome. Zeus, Tiny Tim, Tiny Lister,
Yeah, a Tiny Tim.
Debo.
So one of the ones I really dig, and honestly, I feel bad because I just recently saw it. I watched it. Y'all know me. I buy movies just like, fuck it, that looks good. I'll buy it for $5 because you got to rent it for $6. So I'll buy it and I'll watch it eventually. This movie, I think, was probably the best movie Dwayne Johnson has ever done as an actor. Not an action star, not a kids movie guy, just an actor. It's called The Gridiron Gang.
I love that movie.
That movie was like Junior Rudy to me.
Wait a minute. Gridiron Gang?
Yeah.
With who?
With Exhibit.
With Dwayne.
Was he in that?
The Rock.
He
and
was the
Exhibit.
head coach of the...
Is that the one that Fred Durst directed? Fred Durst did
I
a
don't think
football
so.
movie.
It's a football movie. It's about it's like a juvenile penal juvenile penal colony where juvenile prison
facility,
whatever
yeah.
And Dwayne says, "Hey, football straightens kids out,"
Yeah.
and he starts coaching these kids, and he gets them into the California Athletic Association, lets them play, and it was a great movie because you got to see him, and I felt like he was sold on the part. He was sold on what this was about.
Sorry, Fred Durst was the Long Shots.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Which
yeah,
is
yeah. I
also a
remember that.
football
Yeah.
movie.
But
And
not the
again,
same
Fred
one.
Durst ties into wrestling because,
Loosely.
hey,
He
WrestleMania.
played Taker to the Ring at 19.
What do you do with in Seattle? Is that the one?
That was the one, 19. That's
Okay.
19. I was disappointed with Gridiron Gang because they cut the scene where Exhibit pimped the school's bus.
I'm sorry, but live on Jumping the Rails, I don't think I've seen the movie.
Rail singular.
Oh, wow.
Whatever.
Yeah, we only jump one rail. We're all fat.
We let
so,
Alfonso say
we couldn't
rails.
do two.
But yeah, Gridiron Gang, I felt like that was his acting movie. And I'm not saying anything bad about his other stuff because I think The Rock is fun.
Yep.
I really do.
is.
Can I throw out one more movie real quick?
You can throw out what you want to.
Throw what you want,
The
bro.
baby with the bathwater, go.
I'm gonna go Roadhouse starring Terry Funk.
Yes, I'm gonna do you one better and go Over the Top.
Yes!
Starring Terry Funk.
And Scott Flash
Oh,
Norton.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Scott Flash Norton was in Over the Top too.
Hey, what's my song I play at the bar all the time? Meet Me Halfway.
Yeah.
Kenny Loggins.
Kenny
if you
fucking
watch
Loggins.
the movie if you watch a movie in the 80s, Kenny Loggins sang the theme song.
Yep, that was his
Yeah.
jam.
That
and
is
Michael
my number.
McDonald probably sang backup.
Yes, Marco knows if I play Meet Me Halfway, he'll be like, "Did you play this?"
Narge.
Yes, if it's that or Stained or Aaron Lewis, it was
Or
probably
Hootie.
me. Or
Although
Hootie.
I have to call you on something you said earlier. You said that you love Darius more than anything, but you wouldn't cast aside the birth of your own child to go see him in concert.
I wanted to. My wife told me
Oh.
that day, Mark. So, all right, story for the listeners.
We're going off the wrestling, sir. We're going to the personal side of this. But this is a Christmas episode where you're supposed to get personal.
It involves your hosts.
August 17th, 20-something.
20-something.
Yeah,
I see
20 Goldberg's. Mark Redmond and I said, "You want to go see Hootie?"
And I took a
Yeah.
pass. Remember, I was supposed to go.
You were supposed to go.
And I was like,
go ahead,
that's
say
your
something
band,
else.
and I think he'd appreciate
And I
it
knew
more.
yeah, you did. He threw it to you. And we get to
Wait a minute.
know.
We have the awkward, whatever weird face from Rachel on here. All right, Rach,
So-
understand.
I baited
Mike
him,
is
I'm
never
sorry.
upset, but Mark wanted to bring
This-
this up to let everybody know how awesome Mike is.
I will never forget this. So Rachel had called me at work one day. Rachel, we weren't supposed to have a third child. And she called and said, "We're going to have a baby."
Oh, God.
Oh, and I about passed out at work. We go
Hang on,
to the
time out. Y'all weren't
Mark,
supposed
you're
to have a
interrupting the
third
story.
child. She wasn't supposed to have a fourth child.
What? I'm not a child. Damn it.
I mean,
That one was for you, Rachel.
All right, so we go to the doctor's office, and the doctor's like, "The baby will be born between blah blah blah." And I swear on all my children. I looked at her and I said,
including you.
"Yeah." I said,
Not this day.
I said, "That's the day of the Hootie and the Blowfish reunion concert, Rachel." I said, "You cannot have a baby that day." And she's like, "Well, I can't control that, Mike." Fast forward 9 months.
Not today, Satan.
We
Oh.
get where are we at, Mark? A block? Why is this doing whatever you're doing? We get a block away, and Rachel calls and she goes, "You gotta come back now. I'm going to the hospital."
Hang on. Rachel's interjecting to your story. She said she called you bawling.
Yeah, no, not
Crying.
really. No,
That's what she says.
she's full of shit. Now I've been drinking, but
I just
you're
want to
a
be clear
liar.
about this.
My
She's
wife's
listening.
A liar.
Your marriage is on the line.
I think
I
that
don't-
bed right
She
behind
ain't going
ours
nowhere.
is home for going forward.
We get over there, and I remember doing a Yui. Mark, you remember this? We went to the gas
'Cause
station.
we had to go to Arby's because I was hungry.
Yep. And then we went to the gas station. We figured it out. I'm like, fuck, we'll come back. I was like, and when I asked her, I said, "How serious is this? Like, are we talking
Oh
like
my
an hour
God.
or a couple hours?"
Is there a button for a fail?
Hey,
question?
Darius,
There is.
is there a fail?
Yeah.
I've got more story here. People, listen.
Listen, Linda.
I got 5 listeners listening about the birth of my child, and he's a sweet little boy. I'll post him on our page. He's the cutest.
Oh, man. I feel like Rachel just said something else.
She did. She said, "I warned you I was having contractions." But see, Rachel minimizes bullshit. So I pull over and
Way to
she's
take
like,
the high road.
She's like, "Yeah, I think you need to come back, but if you want to stay and see Hootie, you can." And I was like, "Okay, well, And Mark, Mark being the voice of reason was like, well, I don't want you to miss the birthday of your son. I'm like, well, we've seen a couple of them. So we leave. We start pulling back. Mark, do you remember the dude in front of us with the trailer that dropped the big old fucking piece of wood off?
You almost Final Destination is.
Yeah. So there's a trailer in front of us. This guy
geez.
drops this giant piece of wood or rock or some
Furniture
shit.
or something.
We're talking, what is the big road out of Indy?
Yes, Jonathan, it is story time.
We veer to the left and we miss it. I get back to Carl Hospital. My sweet little baby Baker, named after Baker Mayfield, go Browns. Born that evening. I will never let him live it down. Anytime I play Hootie and the Blowfish, I'll be like, listen here, you little shit.
Also, can I offer a fun aside there? You went back to Carl Hospital where I had just finished working about 4 hours before, and I really had no interest in hanging out at Carl waiting for my wife to come pick me up.
That's true. Mark was one of the first 10 people to see Baker the next morning. He stopped in.
Cute as a button.
And he's adorable. He's a little pain in the ass.
He's awesome.
He told me he was standing in my living room last night on a toy drum, and I said, get off there. And he said, shut it. That's what he told me. He's not even 3. 2.5-year-old said, shut it. And I said,
like
you want
Vince?
me to whoop that ass? And he said, shut it.
Can we just say mad props to Mark for being a really great friend in that moment and
I tried.
enduring being back at work when he didn't have to?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark got a free ticket. I'm not giving him 2 goddamn
I got a free
props.
ticket. I didn't have to pitch in for gas.
Someday, though, when Hootie and them go back on tour, which hasn't happened since, Mark is number 1. Rachel said her ass at home, and Mark's going, and we're going to sing Let Her Cry together.
Booyah.
We'll do it all.
Hey, Narge, didn't you get Cracked Rear View on vinyl?
I did. Marco bought me that. Back to Hootie. Darius actually shouted me out on Twitter because of you. Really? I think it was you that said that, right? Was it you?
What did I do?
Somebody on Twitter had mentioned we went back for my son to be born, and Darius said I couldn't remember if it was you, maybe it was me.
It might have been you.
But Darius said congratulations to us online, so that was very cool. Mark's coming back with more drinks.
And how much of a
Hand
fanboy
bringing
were
tequila,
you
though.
at that moment?
Oh, huge fanboy. I've been to Charleston numerous times. I saw Hootie. Well, I didn't see Hootie's house, but I saw some of the clubs that Darius and them played at years ago. Hootie and the Blowfish is the greatest 90s band of all time. Fuck Pearl Jam. Fuck all them other 90s bands. Hootie and the Blowfish, number 1.
Let's be honest, though. Narge,
Yeah.
you love Darius and you love Charleston, but you go there to try and fucking stalk Bill Murray.
Who?
Bill Murray?
Bill fucking Murray.
I told my son the other
Or
day.
Daryl Hall.
We were watching Ghostbusters, and
Facts.
I said, Murr? I said, do you know his name? Yeah, I'm good. He said, no, Daddy, he's a Ghostbuster. I said, his name is Bill Murray. He goes, that's my name, Daddy. I said, yes, it is, little man. All right, hey, we're getting off the rails. I want to do the top 10.
The rail.
All right.
Just singular.
Just one rail.
No,
We're
he's
not
off
jumping
the
One
rails.
rail.
Jump-
Remember,
we
I got
haven't-
corrected on that.
Well,
If
that
I
was
was
usually
at a
the title
live
of the
show,
podcast.
Andrea, I would jump this rail, and then somebody'd come and get me, and I'd jump another rail, and they wouldn't be able to get me. It'd be like that guy at WWE a few weeks ago who speared Seth Rollins and knocked him almost out.
And we appreciate you guys taking our successful podcast title literally and jumping the rail on television.
do that.
Don't do it. You're
No.
an idiot if you do that.
Do not try this at home.
No, because these guys may play tough on TV, but most of them are actually tough in real life.
Yes, they are.
Hey, the king of drip will drop you.
The Drip God.
The CrossFit Jesus.
Yeah.
Mr. Coffee.
Mr. Fur Collar himself.
I was
So we're going to get into the Top 10
10.
Tuesday.
We're going back to wrestling already?
We're going back to wrestling.
Well, yeah, duh.
So this was a weird way. I was trying really hard to figure out the right way to categorize this list because it kind of covers a lot of different spots.
This
there
is a
really
top 10 of
ever
all
a
shit
right
that might
way?
connect to
Usually, yes.
holidays and wrestling. That's it.
Yeah, but because there's characters, there's moments, there's
Holidays
different things.
and wrestling.
Can
That's
you
it.
So-
phrase it as the Mod Podge top 10?
I would say it's a Mod Podge. I think that's a good word for it.
Interesting.
So-
interesting.
Ha.
And actually, there's not even a real order here, like 10 to 1. So I'm just going to run. I just have 10 good items to put on here. So we're going to run it down here. So just starting from the bottom. Number 10, I've got the match on Raw between Santa Henry and Santa Sandow. Which Mark Henry and Damian Sandow both dressed as Santa Claus on Raw.
Oh, Lord.
And it sounds ridiculous, but it was actually a really good match.
So was it a gift?
Aren't they all?
Or coal.
It was a orange in the stocking, I would say.
Oh.
An orange in the stocking, so it's healthy, and yet it still sucked.
And it burned a little bit. But,
Ooh.
all right, so the
Hey,
next
if it
on
burns when you suck, you have other problems.
So the next one on the list, I've got just the general concept of the Miracle on 34th Street fight that they have in WWE every year around Christmas time.
Did they have one guy trying to convince the other guy he's the real Santa?
No, but one time
That'd be
Mick
cool.
Foley got hit by a car dressed as Santa before the
Hey,
match.
speaking of Mick Foley, remember we talked about this last time?
Squirrel.
Mick Foley was in that
It's a Netflix
documentary.
show, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It really is.
He
Check it
wanted
out.
to be a real Santa, and he met with like a bunch of others and tried to follow in their footsteps.
And they, at the end, they bring him in. He is now an official
Yep.
Santa Claus.
Yep.
I need to
And
watch
he was
that.
and he was at the NWA pay-per-view too.
It's in my Apple.
I
He
know
was.
this.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, Foley's make it. You know when I think Foley's giving a big fuck you to WWE.
I don't
He's-
think it's that malicious.
Nah,
I think he's just
well,
I think he's
it's
making-
not. But I think they're not bringing him in, so why not?
He just wants to. I think he wants to advance the business in general.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next thing here, and it's kind of iconic. Stone Cold Steve Austin giving a Stone Cold Stunner to Santa Claus.
One of my favorite moments.
Oh, man. Which
What?
year? I feel like
This
he
was
does it
Here's
every...
to ya.
I want 96, I think.
Yeah.
But I got to say, though, watching it back, not the smoothest way to ever take the stunner.
He
from,
took
old
it
Saint
about
Nick.
like Vince did.
Just about, yeah.
Well, Vince isn't really stage presence friendly.
No, that's true.
That depends on how you're talking. He's loaded with charisma. He looks like a shellless turtle now, but you know.
I
swear every
what you're
year he
looking
looks
for is
more
the
and
words
more
of,
like
he's a
Vince
load
Senior.
of something.
All right, next thing. And this is actually one of my favorite things. On Monday Nitro in '97, Sting gives Hogan his own head for Christmas. It's not a dirty thing.
The headlines in the San
It's in
Francisco Chronicle
it's
were
in
Sting gives Hogan head.
I think the
for
picture
Christmas.
is in the slideshow somewhere with Hogan holding the head in his hands.
And if you guys are watching on Facebook, you'll see the slideshow. It's been
Yeah,
rotating for
like
hours.
Right now we got some pictures of Jimmy Rave and Blackjack going. So, yeah, that was the build-up for Starrcade with Sting and Hogan, which was a very underwhelming payoff to a fucking awesome angle.
Give a dude head, no payoff. That's pretty bad.
Well, it is basic cable.
That's just called not
That's it.
smart businessing right there.
Yeah. Narge, do you remember that moment when Hogan got a box with his head in it?
No.
You were a Raw guy back then, weren't you?
So they were trying to pull a
No, what was
Godfather
was this with the
without a horse
Warrior?
head movie.
No, this was Sting and Hogan.
I saw the picture. I thought that was a Warrior thing.
No, that was right before Starrcade.
Okay. No, I don't
But
remember that.
it was pretty good. It was the night the NWO took over Nitro, and then at the end they were doing some Secret Santa thing. Everybody was giving Hogan presents, and the last one was a box with his head in it. It was just ridiculous. All right, the next one I have is tribute for the troops when Vince McMahon dressed as Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah, of course, because when I think Christmas, I think Vince McMahon.
Ho ho ho,
Always.
pal! You know, that kind of thing.
No chance in hell on getting any presents.
He has a lot of coal. All right. The next one's kind of obscure unless you watched primetime wrestling in the early 90s, which I didn't because I didn't have USA back then. Bobby Heenan dressed as Santa on primetime, and he was in one studio. Roddy Piper was in the other one, kind of watching. And Heenan was in the process of telling all of the little kids watching the show that there was no Santa Claus.
Oh, that's just
That
mean.
lying sack of shit.
Right, because he was dressed as Santa. He was pulling the costume off and saying, I got a secret. And as he was doing it, Piper's losing his mind in the other studio and finally just comes in and just beats the piss out of Heenan before he can actually say there's no Santa Claus.
I think I remember that one.
It was classic. It's just so good. But yeah, it's like that's an early 90s. If you watch Primetime, you probably remember that.
Where are we at?
2, 3, 4, 5. That was number 6.
Okay.
Number 5, kind of iconic, DX in 97 on Raw when they had the boxer shorts like wrapping paper.
This was kind of before Dick in the Box on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
This
Right.
was pretty damn close.
This was Dixon Raw.
Yes.
Dixon the Raw.
I think that was the same night that Hunter
This is where
pinned
China
Michaels.
spanked their asses, right?
I think
It's
so.
the one where they like
God
moon
rest
them.
her
and
No, they
she's
they
like-
dropped their trousers and they had the banana hammock on underneath.
Yeah, and then China did her thing.
Then Sarge put him in a European title match against each other, and Michaels just laid down for him.
He laid down, which that was okay, but finger poke of doom wasn't okay.
Well, Cornette was losing his shit during that.
Yeah.
Yes, Marco.
So now we have 3 more left tonight, right? 3?
3.
And what we want to do is say, let's take a break and let them listen to the Hangovers real quick.
I like it.
Another Perry Dable
Zach Dable.
offering. Zach Dable's in the band. Perry Dable sent us the music. So what we're going to do is take another real quick intermission so you guys can listen to the Hangovers. All I got to tell you right now is by the end of this song, if you don't smoke weed now, you might. I'm not sure, but this song is very, very, what's the right word? Atmospheric.
Trippy.
We
We'll come back with the top 3.
We at Jumping the Rail do not condone drug use.
No.
Take my hand and roam this plain. We can venture our spirits away, but I am not here to stay. But we can play for today. The crystal ball tells me things that you don't understand, and I know mysteries of this world that you won't comprehend, and I could read your mind in an evil trance. Let's escape this foolish world. I know
Cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is! Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
And with that, we're back.
Now that
Holy
we have
cow.
discussed how we feel about Vince McMahon, we are live.
Actually, that's more how we feel about Nick Khan.
Oh man, that's how we
true.
feel about a lot of people.
Although The Rock's not friends of him. All right, so when we last left you, we had given you number 4 of our top 10 Tuesday of top 10 Christmas moment characters.
I bet.
happenings.
I think it's the final 3.
Hang
now.
on.
We're up to the final 3 now.
I want to say one more time, thank you to the Hangovers,
Yes.
Zach Dable and crew
Yes, thank you.
out of Decatur, Illinois. Thank you for the tunes. We're going to feature you guys on the next couple of episodes. Share us out. We'll share you out. We really appreciate it.
We're only
Thank
going to
you.
do that till Rick Springfield calls me back and
Right.
says, play my music.
Yeah, and if there's any other local musicians
it's
out there that want us
done.
to play your stuff during our breaks, let us know, and we'll put you out there.
You mentioned Decatur. Can I make a plug really quick?
Why
Go
not?
for it.
Cousins Band, third shift, getting together one night in Decatur, Illinois. It's Sliders Bar. If any of you have seen Third Shift, you will know this is something that you want to see. Only one night, December 18th.
Which day of the week is that?
Saturday night.
Which Saturday?
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday.
You pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
They are they are a very good band.
They are fun.
Sliders
They're fun.
is a cool bar.
Opened up for bands like Brothers Osborne, Lee Bryce, all those
Wait a
kind
minute.
of
They
bands.
were forced to open for Lee Bryce. They should have headlined. Lee Bryce should have opened for them because
I
Lee
agree.
Bryce.
Are they
no.
a country group?
They are a country group.
They were a country rock group.
They
country and
reside
western.
out of Mount
They're
Zion,
both kinds.
Illinois.
They're both. Yeah, they're country and they're rock.
Yes.
They have a more Jason Aldean flavor.
Yes,
if you
they
want to
do.
like
Yeah.
figure it out.
All right, so
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Thank you, Andrea. So,
By the way,
getting to
guys, not a one of you motherfuckers, other than Jonathan Meyer, which thank you, sir, has offered us up a challenge to our 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon challenge. We
I
would
think-
love to still see one. And if you're listening to this on the podcast on Thursday, which may or may not happen because a lot of you are doing that, not this, feel free to respond to the podcast in whatever medium you have and give us your, two
This is our-
people,
this
and
is
we
our
will
brown
attempt
M&M.
to fix this out.
This is our
green
brown
M&M.
That's a green M&M.
We're going green.
Green
It's
and
Christmas
red. Yeah.
time.
It's our candy cane this time.
There we go.
Ooh, I
All
like
right.
that better.
So let's get our top 3 here because
Control yourself.
So number 3, Narge, we're going back to ECW back in I'm guessing 94-ish. Yeah. Big
was
Al,
4 years
the man
old.
known
ECW.
as
That's where
911.
Tombstone.
Fonzie's from.
Yeah.
Tombstone.
No.
No, yeah, I think it's a
911
Big Al 911, right?
Yeah, he chokeslammed Santa Claus.
Yeah, but he went by Tombstone in WCW for a hot minute.
I thought he was just Big Al.
Nope, he was Tombstone for a minute.
No, I'll believe you.
Google it.
I'll believe you.
Here's the Google foo.
Get Kylerpedia on it. All right. So our number 3 is 911 chokeslamming Santa Claus because he chokeslammed everybody back then, including our friend of the show Bill Alfonso back in the day.
Ooh.
Which is really easy because he was like 120 pounds. All right. Number 2, our top 2 are going to be specific characters that really embodied the Christmas season. And for our number 2 from Smoky Mountain Wrestling, we have the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, Glenn Jacobs, when he was known as the Christmas Creature. Nars, remember the Christmas Creature?
Terrible. Good for Glenn.
Yeah. He had so many shitty gimmicks before he found Kane.
Fake Diesel.
Fake Diesel, Isaac Yankum,
Isaac Yankum.
Unabomb.
That's
What was
that's a
Isaac
good-
yanking?
Isaac Yankum, he was a dentist.
From where?
Yank 'em.
From where?
Yank 'em what?
Decatur.
Yank 'em
from-
teeth.
He was from Decatur, Illinois.
Because decay, because he was a dentist. It was a pun.
Har har har.
I remember as a kid thinking that was the coolest thing ever.
know,
though,
right?
living here in Central Illinois, I'm like,
It's like when Jim Ross would call Jack Doan the pride of Danville, Illinois on pay-per-views.
It was similar to Hayden Fox on Coach talking about Jerry
Danville.
Van Dyke from
Yep.
being from Danville. So
Yep. Dutch. Because he was Dutch. All right. Marco, do you have a drum roll handy for our number 1?
The only rolls I have handy are on my
I
belly.
got you. I got
Oh,
you. Ready?
my
Ready?
Lord.
Ready? Hang on. We needed what's her name from Vacation doing it. Drum roll, please.
That's not a drum.
So our number one is just a classic wrestling character from the WWF in about 96, 95, Narge, I believe it was.
It was.
And it is the juggernaut that is known as Santa Claus.
The late,
Xanta.
great Balls Mahoney.
I love Balls Mahoney. He was one of my favorites.
I'm glad you finished that sentence.
Yeah, that got me in trouble
He
before.
loves balls, yeah.
One time I actually said I love balls talking to my buddy about wrestling, and he thought I was the dumbest person in the world because I didn't
I
finish
love
the name.
big balls.
Actually, he said, wait a
Love
minute.
Big
Date night?
balls. We've got the
Yeah,
biggest.
he used the Big Balls song for his theme and suits.
That's a shout out to Kyler.
Yep.
Kyle loves him some AC/DC.
I was 5
Santa
years
Claus
old
was
when
great.
You listed that one.
Xana lasted for what, about a month?
If that.
I'm not even sure.
Just through the Christmas season.
It was. I think Vince thought it was a good idea, and then Balls went back to ECW and did his thing.
Yeah, because that was he with Smoky Mountain or was he with ECW then?
I think it was Smoky Mountain, and then
He was
eventually
Boo Bradley in Smoky
Yeah.
Mountain at the time, I think.
But you know, when ECW came back around, they were attempting to make Balls a big star.
Yeah.
And then I don't
They
know
were
what
attempting to
happened.
make
but
big balls?
They were making
Yep.
big balls.
He had a pay-per-view match with Matt Stryker under extreme enforcement of the rules.
Was that December
To Dismember.
That the worst pay per view of all time?
Nope.
Nope. Oh, Mark's
There are
got a
worse.
vote.
There are worse. But I just remember Stryker had the extreme enforcement of the rules: no jumping off the top rope, no closed fists, and no foul language. And Balls won anyway. So
Yeah, balls always win.
my brother saw Balls Mahoney hit Steve Carino in the head with a chair at a Limp Bizkit concert.
Lies.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Peoria.
Did he do it for the nookie?
I don't know. But
right, Limp
he and
Bizkit.
Axel basically were like walking through my brother's section, him and his buddy, and he didn't know ECW. He didn't know who it was. Just saw this big hairy guy. He's like, "Get the fuck out of my way!" And he's like, "Okay."
Shout out to the other Redman.
Shout out to John. Yep. Because it was back when.
Wait a
Steve
minute,
Carell-
was that the Raw general manager? What was that?
May I have your attention, please?
Which one of you motherfuckers dinged?
Wasn't me.
Wasn't
Not
me.
I.
I'm on.
I
I'm
have
on.
an announcement from the Raw general, the
I am,
anonymous Raw.
I'm in-
My
Do not
phone is
disturb
literally
mode.
on. Leave me the fuck alone.
So am I. Because we're professionals.
Mine was until my mom forgot I was doing this podcast.
Honestly, that was hilarious, though. That is
Yeah.
the noise.
Yes, that is literally the noise from the anonymous Raw general manager, which was. Did
Oh,
they ever say who
God.
that was supposed to be?
No, from what I read, they never really had a plan for that, which doesn't surprise me with WWE. That's pretty much how they do things these
I
days,
heard-
half-assed.
I heard a rumor it was supposed to be Hornswoggle.
Okay, I think
I
I read
always-
that.
I
Well,
Which
always-
he's
was-
a
I'd
little
have been
short
terrible.
to reach the podium microphone.
Well, he might have had a smartphone or something. I thought it should have been Michael Cole. He was one reading them anyway.
Well, he was
Yeah.
pretty much the general manager's bitch.
It
Like-
was me, Austin.
Well,
it
somebody's
was
gotta read
me
the
all
messages.
along.
Right.
But he was doing the heel thing at the time, and he could have easily been writing the messages and then
What
saying
if
he got a message from
they
the general manager.
speculated it sometime that it could be in, like William the Bloody or the King William or whoever it was.
Regal?
That,
Regal?
yeah, William Regal.
William the King William.
Yeah, something like he has
The
so many.
man's man.
I
He
love
had
Regal.
so many names; it was hard to keep up.
Yeah, two.
I mean, I just didn't like him, to be honest.
I love
William
Regal.
Hang on, hang on, hang on. The hair right now is red, but I swear to God, you said two, and her mind was blown because one is as far as she's gotten.
Yep, pretty much.
Because I knew him originally as Lord Stephen Regal in WCW, but he's William Regal
Yeah.
nowadays. So, but great wrestler. I liked his role as the GM on NXT, and just whenever they put him in a commissionership, because he was always the foppish British guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he looks like somebody you don't want to mess with.
No, also
and
the
sounds like somebody you don't want to mess with.
That's true.
also the inaugural member of the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club.
Oh,
There's a KMA club?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
there was.
Couple
Literally,
inductees.
Vince McMahon would make the members when they were joining go in the middle of the ring, and he would lower his pants and he would make them kiss his ass.
And you're forgetting he would make them put on chapstick.
Oh,
that's
oh.
a pretty toned ass, though. That's
Yeah.
the
He'd make it do tricks.
yeah. He
Narge, would you have kissed his ass?
You know I like
No,
a big ass.
would you have kissed his ass?
Yes
it's
or
Vince
no?
McMahon. I probably would have.
Andrea?
Absolutely not. In his
Mark
words, no
lies.
chance in hell.
It depends on if there's money involved.
Oh,
No. If
no
you're going
chance
to
in
kiss his
hell.
fucking ass, you're on national TV. You're going to become famous for kissing his ass.
I'm doing
at the
it.
very least.
It's
Narge
like-
is over here like, I already have chapstick. I have Carmex.
If it's a little
Pick one.
if it's a little peck on the
cherry
on the
or
cheek,
regular?
A peck on the cheek. So, no tongue.
no tongue, no.
Oh man, I see Dwayne.
What a shitty fucking situation
Dwayne
that'd
is
be.
back.
Dwayne the Rock.
Hey, Dwayne.
Well, so I talked to
Dwayne the
Dwayne.
speed
I talked to
bump.
Dwayne offline, and he had bowed out for a moment because he. And
Was
I,
there
I
an
hope
80s special on?
No, no. It was. We were discussing. I think it was the 6 degrees thing, Dwayne, if I'm not wrong. And he had nothing, and I'm like, you could have thrown, Pat Benatar and John Cena at us, and we'd have tried.
Was she in Breaking 2?
I don't know.
Shadow of
But
the
hey,
night.
Dwayne, let's throw this out to you. Would you join Vince McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Dwayne, would you kiss Vince McMahon's ass on national TV
Assuming
in the
he
middle
gave
of a
you
ring?
chapstick.
Yeah, he would give you chapstick, lipstick, or okay, we'll stop at lipstick.
I'm sure Dwayne would kiss Vince McMahon's ass if there was a picture of Nia Jax taped
on
to
it. Yeah.
You mean Nina
Yeah.
Fanina?
Nia.
Or if Vince said, you know what, I got her number.
Or if he promised backstage passes to Adamant or somebody from the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dwayne's a big Adamant. Yeah, Dwayne's a big Adamant
Dwayne
fan.
said
aren't
I'm
you, Dwayne?
back like he's Michael Jordan
Or
or
Cam
something.
Newton.
Right.
No,
Dwayne,
like
you're
he's,
about a
like he's
Scottie
Arnold fucking
Pippen.
Schwarzenegger. I'll
He's-
be back.
he's
I am
a-
back.
Dwayne, you're the Scottie Pippen.
Oh, look at this. He said, for the right price. Hey, dude, is Nia Jax the right price? Hang on. There is a delay between live and chat. Just waiting to see.
Here we go. What do we got? Oh,
Dwayne
Rachel Nargelinas is watching. I don't know why.
She's waiting to see if you put your foot in
she's
your mouth.
she's gathering evidence for her divorce attorney.
While we wait,
Might be Kyler.
speak of divas and everything. I was talking to you guys.
We weren't talking about you.
I was talking about this to you guys over the weekend. Marie from WWE
Osmond?
to NXT, blonde to brunette. Mandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a
Mandy.
knockout.
Dwayne said, yeah.
She had a major improvement. Like she's badass now and hot.
Yeah, I said a long time ago when my buddy J.R. Black agreed with me that she needed to go back to NXT when her team with Dana Brooke kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
You know who I like in that group is Gigi.
I mean, Mrs. Darby?
Is that
That's
Mrs. Darby?
That's Priscilla Kelly, yeah.
She's pulling a couple of trains behind her.
I have conflicting feelings about Gigi because of her reputation in the Indies. It's just disturbing.
Oh, that's the one with the tampon thing
Yeah.
right of the pad.
Oh.
She pulled the tampon out.
All I know is she's got two Christmas hams back there.
We're about to lose listeners if we elaborate further on that. But
As a girl, I
Jim
don't want
Cornette
to
is not a fan.
elaborate on that.
I will elaborate.
There will
then.
not
Mark
be
doesn't want
tampon talk.
to.
No.
So Gigi Dolan on the Indies at one point pulled her. It was a tampon or a pad out, right? And then
Narge.
rubbed it into the face of her opponent.
You know what she said? You know what she said? She said, write that down.
Oh, write it down.
it was weird. I can't believe she got signed after that because they vet everybody when they sign with WWE.
Hey, baby got back. That's all I know. So
And she,
Moving on.
She has a strong hat game. in
I
NXT.
haven't made it that far up. I'm gonna lose listeners. They're
Rachel
gonna say,
is watching.
They're gonna say Narge is sexist. Rach knows I like a big ass.
That's true. It was who was it? Cassie Lee.
Oh, speaking of, Mark, what did we do? We're trying to get off the topic, not all. I'm trying to get on it.
You're trying to get off on the topic. See what I did there?
Oh man. But
It's a pun.
Dwayne, what are we doing? What are
let's
we
just
doing
squash
about
that.
Dwayne? Because we're not talking about Nia Jax.
She is not talking about wrestling anymore, so we will not talk about her.
Nope.
Nia Jax is done with wrestling.
She's done.
And she's
Maybe
done
it's
with you,
because
Dwayne.
wrestling was done with her.
She-
Hang on. Let's
she
create
should have-
controversy. Hey, Dwayne, why the fuck isn't Nia Jax wrestling anymore? Oh, yeah, she got fucking kicked the fuck out.
And also, to be fair, she was awful.
Terrible.
Oh.
Dang.
Horribly unsafe in the ring.
As Charles Barkley says,
Do we have
Terrible.
a shots
Dwayne?
fired
Terrible.
button?
Dwayne, would you like me to
'Cause
offer you an
shots
opportunity to
fired.
call in and tell everybody how wrong they are? Because we would love that.
My wife
If he
told
can
me
figure
to
it
drink
out today.
another one.
Doesn't she say that
Well,
a lot
because
to you?
she thinks if you drink enough, you'll go around the world drunk to be sober.
Rachel,
Yeah,
I've
this
had
does
water
happen.
tonight. Thank you.
I've gone on. Yeah, it's kind of fermented water, but it is water. But no, I've gone on the record for a long time that Nia had little to no business in the ring for a long
No,
time.
she didn't. After her two knee replacement surgeries?
Well, that plus almost breaking Becky Lynch's face in 20.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing with Nia was she never seemed to apologize. There was always
No,
an
she
excuse
didn't.
of some kind.
Then there was the Charlotte thing earlier this year. It looked like they were going into full shoot mode.
They did, but from what I read, the locker room supported Nia in that
Right.
situation.
But
Now
she was still
let's
working
be
unsafe
fair,
match.
guys. Y'all are talking about Nia's abilities as a wrestler,
Right.
We ain't
or
talking about
as
them
a
looks.
as a professional entertainer or athletic entertainer. Is that a better way to put it? In the wrestling business? Nia Jax, to both of you, may have been suffering a little bit of not so quality. We just don't want Dwayne to think that we
Okay.
don't think she's hot, because that's exactly what Dwayne
Well,
thinks.
she's not
Hey,
my
Dwayne,
type.
that ain't Mark's type.
She's
I
got
can
a very pretty face.
I was gonna say
She
I
has a
can
pretty
see
face. I agree.
what Dwayne sees in her,
All right, so here's the way we handle this.
but she ain't no Mandy.
This is how
Rose.
we handle this, okay? You two are out.
All right, we're out.
Get the woman's perspective.
We
Marco?
asked the woman, is Nia Jax hot
Or
in the
not.
wrestling world to you?
To me, Nia Jax, yes, she's attractive.
I don't mean that. I mean hot. Like, should she have been kept? Did WWE fuck up?
I think she should not have been kept
Why?
in the wrestling world. She was reckless. I mean this in no
Okay.
disrespect. She was reckless in the ring. But I also have seen her in Total Divas when she was a primary cast member. And outside of the ring, she's humble as ever.
Cool.
And she was so nice, so respectful to all of the other divas like Natalia,
Right.
who else ever was on Total Divas, everybody. But in the ring, she's okay not being in the ring. She should just be on the personal side of it.
Okay.
I think some of it is physical limitations. I don't want to say that, but I mean she is a bigger built girl.
She
You
is.
think she's
I
not capable of pulling some of the moves?
Some of the moves, and I
Right.
think she doesn't know her own strength.
That's a big one.
There have been
Right.
times
So
where
she might actually injure people.
correct. There, some of the moves where she's actually injured people are power moves. Right.
Wasn't there a match where her and I don't know who
It was
it
Mandy.
was, but the move was she lifted her foot up and somebody was to walk into it. Didn't somebody's nose actually get broken because she actually did a lunge kick to the face or
I
something?
think it might have been Charlotte.
That might have
Yeah.
been. I remember with Mandy, she threw either into the steps or the ring. It
I
was
think the
something
post, I think.
outside,
Yeah.
and it was too hard. She just flung her too hard, and I think
what
that's a
she
lot of
said.
it.
Plus, there was the Charlotte match. She picked her up for like a back suplex and just dropped her. She didn't finish.
Yeah.
Go down with her and protect her.
I think a lot of that, and I think some of that maybe, and I don't know, I don't want to speak for her, but she is related to The Rock. So maybe she thought, hey, I'm safe here. Rock is The Rock, you know?
So do y'all think? And I mean, and I'm not speculating at all because I don't obviously follow this stuff shit. But do you think that Nia Jax has a place in professional wrestling where she can come back like AEW? And JCW needs a lot of work for to get there because they're very low rent, and they're good. But they are not on a scope.
If
she's
she-
been up here, she's not going to go there.
If she wanted to build a fan base, that's where I'd start.
I
would.
think Nia Jax has a good chance of coming back in the WWE as somebody beside,
in the WWE.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the WWE is somebody behind the scenes, like a manager, because
Correct, Dwayne.
the girl who I can't remember her name. It's been a while since I've watched it, but the girl manager now for SmackDown and Raw,
Sonya Deville.
Sonya.
She's the GM, kind of.
She's an acting GM, but she's also going to be entering into the ring, and they can't have both. So maybe they could, if somebody's going to transition out, they could transition Nia Jax into some sort of a role like that.
Well, the big question is, does she want to come back?
Right.
And from everything she's been saying, she's, by all intents and purposes, done with wrestling in general.
And that's fine too.
Yeah. And she was. I think
I
she was.
wonder if she's working us, though.
Oh, it could be. You're always
I
looking
don't
for
think
the work,
so, though.
but,
Could you imagine her against Jordan Grace?
My money's on Jordan. She's awesome.
Well, Jordan's awesome, but she's thick mama pump, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
she needs that.
I think Nia Jax could be the same as like a Ronda Rousey situation where they want to have like she wants to go. Ronda Rousey lost her title so she could go start a family. She wanted to start a family and get out of the WWE, if I'm understanding correctly.
Well, I mean, Ronda Rousey and all like,
but
and
Nia Jax could want to get out of wrestling to do the same.
That is possible. You're right,
Maybe.
but Ronda Rousey can actually beat people's ass.
No,
She's
I
not
know that.
acting. She can
I
actually
know
kick
that.
somebody's ass.
I'm just saying in
Okay.
the retrospect of the whole big picture,
Right on.
that could be why Nia Jax wants out of wrestling. So they played it off like they let her go.
But some of her commentary since she was released makes it sound like she's bitter. Is that you guys?
It
Do you
may
guys?
be
Any of you guys think that's
staged.
acting?
Staged.
Well, could be, but you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing to remember, Nia, when she started, was she like a model or something before she got into wrestling?
I think
so.
She
But
could-
plus size.
So she could be looking for a new career path. I guess maybe she'll want to try to get into.
Hang on a minute, Nia Jax. I want you to be listening right here. We have a news flash. Dwayne Carter has offered to be your manager.
Oh boy.
I actually agree with Andrea on this. I think she's working us. This is it. This
You
is
think
all
it's
she.
just a play?
Yeah.
This is all she knows. Oh,
could-
I'm not coming
She doesn't-
back.
It could be a
She
money grab.
ever
Oh.
since she has stepped foot in the ring, she has always had that bitter persona.
Yep.
I'm gonna be a hard ass
Mm-hmm.
because one, yeah, she's related to The Rock, so she has a big shoe to fill
Okay.
with that. But two, she doesn't know how to do promos well on the good side of it.
Well, a lot of it is she doesn't
So-
look like your typical female wrestler. Either.
No, she
So
doesn't.
There is some of that hostility there, and I think
Mm-hmm.
she knows that. She does. She knows that.
For our blind listeners,
She
what
has
does a
chip on her
typical
shoulder.
female wrestler look like? And for me too. 'cause I
Years,
just wanna fantasize.
years ago, in the '80s, I think Nia would have fit right in.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
late '90s, early 2000s, it's a supermodel with a physical build.
If
It's
you're-
the blonde with the athletic build,
Nia's
right?
not. Nia
Yeah.
is a heavier,
Now,
again, attractive female, but she is a bigger. She's more dewdrop on WWE, I would say.
She
Piper
No,
looks
Lord.
like more power than athlete.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
now the template's kind of evolved. Like in the '90s, early 2000s, was all about the TNA. You know, it seems like they're focusing more on
The tits and ass?
the athletic.
To be
body
clear
type
to our
now.
viewers, if
Yeah.
you don't know that.
Yeah, not total nonstop
The
action.
total-
Yes,
Stop.
exactly.
But nowadays, it seems like they're looking more for the athletic body type and adding the sizzle to it, like your
Well, they're
Bianca Belair,
doing-
your Charlottes, your
Well, you
People
saw
like
the
that.
new thing they're doing with the college athletes.
yeah.
The
Next in line, they called it.
next in line, yeah, and a lot of them are softball players, volleyball girls. They're built. I mean, what I noticed, they showed some last night. A lot of Charlotte Flair,
Bianca.
almost look
Rachel
Bianca
just said-
lookalikes.
Yeah.
Rachel just said, "At least she's not dewdrop."
Yeah, Rachel.
Oh, God,
had
I
Rachel had a
agree,
big problem
Rachel.
with Dewdrop.
I agree with Rachel on that front. I don't understand Dewdrop in this storyline, whatever. I mean,
The thing is, though, if I had to put Dewdrop in the ring with Nia Jax, Dewdrop wrestles circles around her. Piper
Absolutely.
Nevin,
yeah.
incredible in the ring.
And by the way, I heard that they have put the trademark in for Piper Niven again. So
Yeah, I
I
think
think
it's
Dewdrop
coming.
is going bye-bye, and they're going to give her back her original name.
And the thing is, I think
She
people
needs
take
her
more,
original name.
They would
She-
take her more seriously.
Yeah, they would. Because Dewdrop, come on, seriously, you just laugh every time you hear it. I mean, I do.
Until she punches you in the face.
Sorry, if Dewdrop, viewers, if Dewdrop is listening, if you punch me in the face, I deserve it for saying that.
And can we please get it on video?
Yes.
Please, when we get on the podcast,
We'll put it on our Facebook page. We'll get some.
Perry
some views.
Dable, welcome back to the podcast.
Perry.
Again, we appreciate you sending in the music tonight for the Zach Dable. For Zach, not the experience, but Perry's in a couple of bands. We got the Zach Dable experience. Zach
We got
Dable
the
does his solo
Hangovers.
thing, and then the Hangovers out of Decatur, Illinois. So,
be honest,
thank
if
you,
you're
Perry.
if you're into the Doors and the trippy hippie sound, I think you really need to check out the Hangovers because that's where they are. They're just like out there having a good time.
Great musicians, a very attractive lead singer who just really drags you.
I would
think,
would
into the
agree with
show.
you, but I was blind drunk every time I saw them.
I feel like the both of you were.
Not
Nope.
me.
Nope, not really.
All
So
right.
hang on, man. So you and I the three of us, all of us, we have our little private chat about what's going on in the show and stuff. And I sent you guys a TikTok that I found, which was somebody was standing there and they grabbed somebody and they flipped them. And Narge, you responded and said, almost got her in the Canadian Destroyer. Yeah. Do you remember that
gosh.
video? Yep. So I need to know, as a neophyte, is the Canadian Destroyer a body part, a sex position, or a wrestling move?
So what it is, I mean, essentially...
Leave it to Marko to go there.
Years ago, a gentleman in TNA Wrestling Impact, Petey Williams, debuted this move, and what it is a flipping pile driver.
Right on.
Being in the business, this move takes both gentlemen to be able to perform this move. So the guy doing it has to be able to flip. The gentleman taking it has to be able to backflip.
Cool.
But it's essentially a pile driver being flipped. And the video you sent me of these ladies...
This is what it was.
Inadvertently, a very sloppy version of the Canadian Destroyer. Which is also called the Panama Sunrise and whatever other moves Mark's heard it called.
But, I mean, we've heard of blue waffles, too.
Yes, Dwayne Carter, it is a wrestling move. Welcome to the wrestling podcast, Dwayne.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
I mean,
Mark's got a
Sony
video,
actual.
and boom, there you go. See?
Oh, yeah, but that video I showed you was
Share
like yanked by the ankles and done.
Well, that was that was a couple of sloppy cheerleaders having a good time at the frat house.
Ron Funches
Alcohol
did it better.
involved.
Lots of alcohol.
Yes.
Ours, Ron Funches did it better.
Yeah. Oh, the Funch Master.
Ron Funches is awesome.
Yeah. What do you call it? The Funch Master Supreme or something like
the
that?
Funch Rap
right?
Supreme, I think.
Yeah. So.
Shout out to Alex Zane. So we got about 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
And then we're going to call it. Thanks for joining us.
We would have more time, but we're out of beer.
Yeah. But we appreciate you guys joining us early. We know this is our first day with the new time at 6 o'clock. And hopefully that wasn't too inconvenient for you guys because it was horribly convenient for us.
Yeah, thank
Dwayne,
you. I'm
real
an
quick.
old man, so...
Dwayne, I think we'd like to have you guest at some point.
Yes, I want Dwayne on the show.
But understand, Dwayne, that we ain't going to be easy on you, brother.
Nope.
No.
Yeah,
Definitely
we'll
not.
get Dwayne on sometime.
You should probably get an Uber to get here.
We owe
'cause you're going to need
Dwayne
an
a
Uber
whistle,
home.
don't we?
Yeah, we still have to get Dwayne your whistle. You won the whistle
Yes.
during our Fonzie interview.
Yes, we had a couple of COVID emergencies.
Right,
and
right. But
yeah.
we'll have to arrange a Rendezvous and get it dropped off.
A Rendezvous.
Mark,
There
why
you
don't
go.
you run down our next couple episodes real
All right.
quick here at the end?
All right. So next week, like I said, we're doing our year in review episode. We got Keith Gibson joining us from Clubhouse Lounge Radio and the Full Count podcast, and he'll kind of pitch in his 2 cents on the categories that we're going to discuss. And like I said, we're going to put a poll up with our match of the year candidates, and you guys vote on that, and you'll decide for us who had the best match in 2021. So we'll do that in 2 weeks on the 28th, and after the new year on the 11th of January, we're going to have Kevin Gill from Game Changer Wrestling joining us, and that'll be about 4 days before we see them in person in Chicago.
With a stacked lineup.
Stacked.
Holy smokes.
Did we mention PCO's going to be there?
PCO, Briscoes,
Morton.
Drew Parker, Ricky Morton,
Jonathan
the Dark
Gresham.
Sheik, Jonathan Gresham. Who knows who else? I'm hoping.
Have we
Nick Gage.
determined Alex will be there?
We don't know that
Alex.
yet. Alex Cologne, our guest previously, will be on the New Year's show against John Wayne Murdoch for
Right.
the Ultraviolent Championship, and
Right.
that is. That may not be for you, Mark. You're kind of squeamish. You got a little girl belly on you. You may not be able to
I have a
watch
lot
this
of girl
one.
belly on me, thank you.
There's a good chance the winner of that match is going to get Drew Parker in Chicago.
That's what
But
I'm
my
thinking.
girl is named Corona.
And I hate to say this. I think Alex drops the belt.
I hate
I
that.
hate it. Alex, we
Alex
love
is
you,
so
but I
good.
think it's
Great friend of the show, Alex Cologne. But
Do we get a triple threat? Maybe.
maybe?
I haven't seen that in GCW. Not a whole lot of
No.
triple threats.
Have they? Is Nick Gage booked for?
Haven't
Chicago?
announced. They kind of wait. They literally have announced 0
What's
matches
this say
and just
from
appearances.
Rachel?
Great job, fellas. And
Andrea.
Andrea.
So
Thanks,
those are
Rachel.
so those are our next 2 shows. After that, we're kind of up in the air. We're working on getting some red tape cut out, getting a hold of some people. But yeah.
Man, do we have some rock and roll names
Yep.
out there though?
we got
I
some
mean,
legends
you know.
on the docket. We're gonna try and get lined up.
Please
here.
understand that after the next show is Keith Gibson. The
Right.
show after that is
Kevin Gill.
Kevin Gill, who's the
6
GCW
listeners.
ringside or play-by-play guy, right?
Right.
So, and then 3 days after, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days after.
4.
4 Friday, 5 Saturday,
Saturday.
whatever. I'm not doing math. It's Christmas. So then these guys and Kyler, and if you heard our road show, you understand that shit can get wild. They're going to go see the GCW show. They will probably talk to a few people. And then the next episode after that, they will probably have a lot of information for you that they did not have before they left.
So stay tuned.
Well, and I also want to point out, at some point between now and WrestleMania, we are going to get a former WWE referee on this show.
Yes.
Oh.
Jack Doan he's confirmed he wants to be on this show. And I'm going out there and I'm going to say we're going to have Jack on this show. Anybody who watched the 90s remembers Jack as the guy that Vader came in and put out.
Right
Jack
on.
Doan has refereed some of the greatest matches of all time in WWE history. I actually talked to him 2 weeks ago outside of here. We were at a gas station, and Jack and we chit-chatted. That is a show you don't want to miss. And we're going to figure that out. I think Mark and I have decided pre-WrestleMania would be the best time. But
What a
before
great
then,
build-up for it, too.
we will have other guests. And Mark is working hard. I want to give Mark the kudos on this. He's got feelers out there. He's got people we're going to get on.
I've been blowing up the Twitter.
He's like
blowing the
being
Twitter
AT&T.
machine.
He's reaching out and touching somebody. And so far, no Me Too's.
Well, and I know last week, a couple weeks ago, we tagged the twins, Robert and
Justin King.
One of them was a former WWE referee. Another one does NWA. I don't think it's the same guy.
Didn't one of them do 0-1?
0-1. He did New Breed
Yeah.
where I was at. I actually I didn't beat them both up, but I wrestled with both of them at one point.
Yeah, one of them, and I'm sorry, Justin, Robert, I don't remember which is which, like in my brain, but one of you is a police officer now, and I think it's Farmer City.
Was Leroy, I think.
Leroy, and the other one is still very active, and he did a couple stints in the like Saudi Arabia or UAE or something like that,
NWA,
or
and
maybe
then
India,
Great
India?
Khali's
yeah.
company.
Yeah, that
so
one. yeah.
we're going to try to get those guys on as well. I think
Dwayne
Mark-
wants Nia Jax.
Well, I want Nia.
I don't think
Dwayne,
we can afford
we
Nia
don't-
Jax.
Dwayne, you mean you want Nia Jax to come on here and listen
were very
to
unkind to
these
her.
guys? Because I don't know shit about her, but you want that's fine, man. I'll tell you what, brother. We'll reach out to her, but
We need
understand
sponsors,
we're
Dwayne.
blaming you, Dwayne. We are blaming Dwayne.
But
We'll get
I'm going to say
Dwayne
this.
to write the check.
Yeah, but we're
Oh.
not going to have Dwayne in studio because we cannot afford to replace a microphone that gets drooled on.
Yes.
No,
Oh, no, he can come in as long as Nia's not here.
Put
Yeah.
the tarp down. On that.
On that
Dwayne says Robert is the police
So
officer.
Justin is the
So
referee.
Justin's
in the
still doing the
NWA.
wrestling most of the time.
Thank
yeah.
you, Dwayne, for
Thank you,
keeping
Dwayne.
us on track.
And I normally know that, but I'm not actually looking at Facebook other than to see you lovely people.
Speaking of police
commenting.
officers, wasn't there Dwayne WCW?
Buddy Lee Parker,
Buddy Lee Parker, not Dwayne.
the Sarge.
Sarge.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson was a police officer in the Central Intelligence
Oh, my.
Agency.
All right, we better cut this
All
off.
right, I'm putting an end to this. So until next on the 28th for our year in review episode. Thank you, Andrea Lynch, for joining us in studio today.
Thank you for having me.
And for Narge and for Marco, this is Redmond, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Happy
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.